This should be
Kate Scott.
She probably likes the tuna sandwiches from 7-Eleven.
And Joe Shasky.
I know I'm mediocre, but I'm going to give you the best effort I possibly can.
This is the Morning Roast. Presented by Timeless Coffee on 95.7 The Game.
Deep left field. It is a home run. Chris Bryant, in his first game as a Giant, has hit a home run for the Giants' first run of the day. Bryant, the Giant, is what the sign said. 2-1 Houston.
Oh, baby. KB is in the Bay. Trey Area is in the Bay. Joe Lacob doing Q&As in the Bay with our own insider, Anthony Slater. This is a monster Monday here at 95.7 The Game. A fun one. We got a lot to get to. The legal tampering period in the NBA starts at 3 p.m. But I want to say good morning to all our roasters on Twitch, on YouTube. We're over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. And I got to say good morning to my man, bar none, a.k.a. Joe Shasky, a.k.a. The Butcher. Chris Bryant in his debut with the Giants hits a bomb, and things are rolling right now in the Bay Area.
I got so many thoughts on so many things from this weekend. You and I had an unbelievable weekend going down to training camp. I mean, just, Betty Crocker in it all up in the mix, just really pissing off America. But let's start here real quick because there's so much I want to get into. Yesterday was the 10-year anniversary of this station, 95.7 The Game. Mm-hmm. And there is not a day that goes by that I don't put my head on the pillow and realize how lucky we are to do what we do, B. You are one of my best friends in the world. That's not just radio. That is real life type stuff. You know that. I love you. I love your family. I've had an opportunity to work here. Thank you to Matt Nahegan, the program director, who gave me a chance when no one else would. I still am a listener. We are not a station without listeners. Right. And I just want to make it so clear to you guys. Thank you. Thank you for tapping in. Thank you for listening to us every single day. We hope we make you laugh. We hope you make you scream at the radio and say, these guys are idiots. We hope we evoke some emotion. But more than anything, just thank you for coming inside the tent. We love you. We appreciate you. And without you, the audience, there is no station. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Now, let's get rolling because I'm telling you right now, it has been an unbelievable opportunity to get to this 10 years as a station. There's so many people behind the scenes, on air, who have gotten us where we are. But this might be the best 10-year run that the Bay Area has ever seen. And we just saw 3 championships from the Giants, 2 Super Bowl appearances from the 49ers, and 5 finals appearances from the Warriors. And somehow, some way, I felt like a new era opened up on Saturday when you and I went down there.
Oh, my gosh. So you get Chris Bryant to trade Friday night, or it's going to be Friday afternoon to the Giants at 12:56 p.m. Farhan trades 2 prospects I never even heard of. Nobody, and anybody out there says they heard of the prospects, I never saw their names at all. Once in the last 5 months.
I've never even seen a video.
No videos,
not even
no
a highlight.
nothing. I have no idea if this guy's got a semi-social swing or not. All right? Chris Bryant is now a Giant. Farhan makes his move. He makes his first big splash, and it already pays dividends by the Giants winning 2 or 3 from the Astros after taking 2 or 3 from the Dodgers. How about Logan Webb in back-to-back starts? Heck, 3 straight starts, keeping the Giants in the game. His ERA at home is in the ones right now. He went into that Astros game with the 1.61 ERA at home. Logan Webb looks like, hey, the moment ain't too big for me.
Unreal.
But Saturday down in Santa Clara, because, Shasky, I want to echo those sentiments that you just spit about 95.7 The Game. I was at the other station when 95.7 The Game launched. Matter of fact, no, I wasn't at the station yet. But I remember when it launched. And I got to the other station as 95.7 The Game was 2 years in. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to get in here, internship, whatever. Because I was like, this just sounds kind of different. It sounds kind of different. Well, the listeners here at 95.7 The Game, our audience, is the best audience, I think, in America. Our listeners really engage with us.
100%.
They interact with us, and I can't be more thankful for them. They took a chance on me nearly 5 years ago, Shasky. It'd be 5 years I've been at the station in November, in the middle of November. And I came in raw. Nobody really knew who I was, but they stuck with me. And when I see these people, when I see our listeners at the games, at live remotes, at practices.
At the 49er team store?
At the 49er team store, it makes me really feel special. and lucky to have this gig.
I know you do.
Very, very lucky to have this gig, and we get to set the tone for the entire Bay Area. So 10 years down and $1 million to go. This station ain't going anywhere. Thanks to our great audience, thanks to our great listeners, and the people who work here, the people behind the
100%.
scenes, the Stephen Langfords, the John Curleys, the Matt Nahegans, all our producers and board outs who make us sound
The
better
real
than what we
geniuses.
are. Exactly. So I wanted to get that out there as well. 10 years down and a lot more to go.
And I know that you feel the same way I do. When we're just two city kids that came up, that love these teams, that love this area, love this community. I mean, I pinch myself every day, the things that we get to do, the people we get to see and talk to. It doesn't get lost on me. Like, I mean that. I think a lot of people think that, like, you two hacks.
Right.
Oh, my God. I want somebody from out of market who's a real journalist. You think those out of market people care about the Bay Area the way you and me do?
Absolutely
This is
not.
where my family is.
Yep.
This is where I want to raise my family for the rest of my life, where I put down my seeds. I pay taxes. I care. I bleed and sweat and tear and cry in the same kind of community that everybody else here does. And so just for a second, I wanted to just say thank you to the audience. And
No
I
doubt.
think that this entire month, we're going to give appreciation to you guys. We got some fun, cool things cooked up, but be like just two city boys having an opportunity to do what we do. You have been telling me, Joe, you got to do this. You got to do that. You got to take advantage of some of these opportunities. And one of the things that I was so bitter on was like going down to Levi's because I was so mad that
Right.
they left my neighborhood.
Yep.
I grew up on that side of the city, and,
A lot of people
Candlestick
were.
meant a lot to me.
You weren't the only one, Shasky. It took me a while to go down
I
to
know.
Levi's, and I said, man, I'm in the game. I want to watch my 49ers at some point. I got a press pass. I get credentials. We could buy tickets.
know.
I got to see these guys, but I had to drag you down there.
I'm glad you did, because you kind of opened my eyes to so many different things and allowed me to experience certain things that I never would have experienced. I also think the Raiders leaving and working every single day with
Right.
Towney, and he was the Raider guy, and seeing how much he loved that team, and to see them move away, it made me realize, what the hell is a 45-minute drive? That ain't nothing. I drive 45 minutes to go see family members. Why would I not go drive to see the team that I love? And I had never been to a practice in that setting. I've been to hundreds of NFL games. I've sat in so many different seats, the highest of nosebleeds to the front row and everything in between. I've seen this team on the road. I've seen this team at home. I've got an entire binder of live games that I've gone to see the 49ers. And seeing that practice the other day was unbelievable, because it wasn't just the practice itself. It was the mannerisms from the players telling me who has arrived. And I just, the analogy I would use to people, and they go, yeah, it's just a practice. When you go to a little kid basketball game, when you go to an adult basketball game, you go to any kind of basketball game, and you watch the layup line, you just know when someone is better than everyone else.
Right.
When you watch people play catch on the sideline in baseball, you just know when someone delivers it, when you see something special. And I use this analogy because I think it applies here. When I first saw Tim Lincecum, I was like, oh my God, this just looks different. There is nobody I've seen that does it this way. He looks special. He looks different. And everybody knows that moment when they saw him. When you notice Steph Curry was on another planet, it just hits you and you're like, this guy is unbelievable.
Madison Square Garden, when he dropped 54, his coming out party, where it was like, oh, this is why he was the number 7 overall pick. This is why
Exactly.
the Warrior fans have a lot of faith in this guy bringing his franchise out of this black hole that they've been in for over 15 to 20 years. It looked different.
Shohei Ohtani,
Yep.
more recently, you see him and you're like, it just looks different than anything I've seen. I've watched Russell Wilson in person time and time and time again. It just looks different. Like there's something that looks so unique. And when we saw Trey Lance step back in the 11-on-11 drills and rifle a ball over to Ross Dwelly over the middle, I whacked you in the chest and I said, oh my God, it just looks different. Now you want to dilute and say it's just practice? I totally understand
fine.
that.
That's
You're
fine.
entitled to do that. But I'm telling you right now, this kid's the real deal, and if I'm going to die on any hill, I'm going to tell you this right now. The 49ers made one of the greatest selections in the history of their organization, and if this guy stays healthy and stays hungry, he's going to be one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play for the 49ers.
So I've been going down to these practices for about 5 to 6 years. I try to go to about 3 to 4 training camp practices, watch it, get to know the personnel, get to know the team a little bit, see what they're doing, and then go down to the preseason games. And I believe that was your first practice going to and bringing you down there, which was a lot of fun. Because
First practice, Santa Clara.
Right.
I went to Kezar a couple of times for open practices,
Yeah,
but it's not the same.
It's not the same. So we went down there. We went down there Saturday afternoon, and we said, we got to see Trey. We got to see Trey. And we watched the quarterback drill. And Trey, the ball was just coming out of his hands with so much zip, so much velocity. And you see Jimmy G throw it. And it's like, damn, this dude's got a better arm. So we knew that. The size, the presence in the huddle, the presence at the line of scrimmage. Looking at him work the pocket, climb the pocket, backpedal. That pass to Ross Dwelly, both of our eyes got big. And I know it's practice. It's just, a lot of people said, it's just practice. He's a rookie. But I'm telling you, Shanahan is getting this guy ready to go week number 1 against the Detroit Lions. He knows what he has here. Trey Lance, the way he delivers a football, and the way he runs out of the pocket and gets those hit yards, it is the most. I've been going out to these practice 5 or 6 years. I've never seen a quarterback put on a show like that. Ever.
Wouldn't you? That's crazy that you say that. Wouldn't you agree that the moxie and the polish in the pocket was something that I didn't predict?
I mean, the guy
I could
he worked
not have
with,
seen that.
Quincy Avery, the other quarterback coach that he worked with, he's played 1 game in 20 months. I get that. His pocket presence.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, he looks like a 3-year vet already. Like, he looked seasoned. Even when he rolled out, the game slowed down for him.
Yes.
And it's like he'll throw it away. There's a deep pass where you and I, Greg Papa, the voice of the 49ers,
Dude.
we ran on the field to see where this deep ball was thrown.
So did DJ Jones. And
Jones.
Fred Warner. And all I think that's very important. Because, look, you don't want to take my word for it. I understand that. Like, you want to dilute and say it's just practice. I totally hear you. But when Adam Schefter is on NFL Live saying it, when Peter King is writing about this morning, and we'll explain to people what we're talking about, when the players themselves get giddy when this guy does a little something, and I'm talking about the defense. What am I supposed to do? The players are telling you what they feel about someone who they're competing against. And look, that's a field of Adonises.
Right.
We are talking about a field. This is not like the 2004 Niners where they don't have a player worth their salt. I'm watching Fred Warner, and I'm just walk up to Fred Warner, any human being, and you look at him, you're like, oh my God, this is the greatest of what humans can create. This guy is chiseled out of granite. He can run like the wind, hit like a defensive lineman, has hands like a wide receiver. Fred Warner is a monster. And on a field of monsters, Trey Lance didn't just belong. He stood head and shoulders above everyone, like he was the Statue of Liberty.
And Jimmy Garoppolo, who I've been a big fan of, and I don't want to take away anything that Jimmy Garoppolo did for this football team in 2017, the expectations of 2018,
100%.
mostly due to Jimmy Garoppolo playing quarterback for the 49ers, and then what he did in 2019, helping his team go to the Super Bowl.
You've been one of his biggest supporters from day one. Right. You have had his back the entire time, and I think where you're coming from on a lot of it makes sense. They win when he plays.
They win when he plays. But what I saw Saturday from him, the ducks, the balls hanging up in the air, holding on to the football multiple times, taking multiple sacks. The pick 6 to Fred Warner where the defense was salivating. Before that play, the defense was like cheating up in the box saying, we dare you, Jimmy. Do something here. Do something. He threw a pick down the field where I was looking down, I was talking to somebody. I look up and I thought it was a punt. And I see Shasky going crazy. How can you make that throw? I said, that was a throw? I thought it was a punt. He throws a pick, underthrows Deebo Samuel.
It was so
Deebo
bad.
Samuel comes back to the huddle. Doesn't even go to the huddle. He's standing there next to his teammates, and he's pointing demonstratively, hey, this guy, what is he doing? What is he thinking about? And when Jimmy threw that interception, Kyle Shanahan was in his grill telling him, what are you doing? What are you talking? What do you see out here? What is going on in your head? Trey Lance looked like the better quarterback. On that field on Saturday, Trey Lance was the better quarterback. And that's why when last week we were discussing this situation when training camp opened, Shanahan, what'd he say? Jimmy Garoppolo is the best quarterback in the facility right now. And I told everybody, and I'm not trying to sit here and say I told you so, focus on the words right now. Because anything we've learned about Kyle Shanahan, he leaves a little something out there. He won't tell us the entire truth. He knows what he has in Trey Lance. And he said Jimmy G, while Trey Lance was still working on his contract, is the better quarterback in the facility right now. Well, I could say right now, on day number 5 of training camp, Trey Lance is the best quarterback down in Santa Clara right now.
B, it's undeniable how good this kid's going to be. And the crazy thing is, I didn't know what to expect. I thought maybe this guy's going to be a raw product. It's going to take some time. I was blown away at how polished he is already. The moxie that he has already. He's a quarterback who also happens to be the best athlete on the field.
What about the swagger?
Not the best athlete on the field who's trying to play quarterback. There's a big difference between the two. The swagger was unbelievable. The way the rest of the teammates gravitated toward him, and you could sense the energy and the pop and the step. Look, man, and I hear it right here from the 510. And get in on YouTube, Twitch, 95.7 The Game, search them all. I love you guys. But like you said, it's practice. No pass rush at all from the opposing defense. So this is what I would say to everybody. The right side of the line was getting collapsed all day in practice. Whether it's one-on-one, whether it was the 11-on-11 team drills, I sat there and watched. And you want to say there's no pads? Well, guess what? This week when there are pads, you still can't hit the quarterback.
Right.
You still cannot hit the quarterback. And like Fred Warner said to Peter King in that article, even if it's 11-on-11 with no pads, you can just tell. There are certain throws. There are certain ways that you can see the field. Look, one guy looked reluctant and looked small and hesitant. The other guy looked confident and big and strong and next level. Your eyes are telling you. It is undeniable. And I'm telling you this right now, not to pull, hot takey. I am 100% certain when they play on August 14th, if he plays against the second string for the Kansas City Chiefs, Trey Lance will unload an unbelievable package of ridiculous play after ridiculous play.
So you referenced the Peter King article in the Monday Morning Quarterback. And he says, he's talking to Shanahan and, he's talking to Fred Warner. And then Shanahan tells Peter King, Debo comes up to me at one point, and he's like, this guy's got some balls. And I think that's what the guys feel. He goes out there and he's not scared to fail. He goes out there and lets it rip. And there's some good, some bad. Players could feel it. When you're not scared to fail, and you're talented, you do the right thing right away. You do things right away. Guys believe it's just a matter of time. And it is just a matter of time before Trey Lance is the QB1. No joke. And a lot of people are saying, it's just practice. Half the defense wasn't even playing. Well, why didn't Jimmy Garoppolo light it up?
Exactly.
Why didn't he let it rip? Look, we've all discussed this all off season. This is the biggest training camp for Jimmy Garoppolo in his entire career. And if he's out there just experimenting, holding on to the football, then he's going to be gone by week 3 to preseason. What I saw Saturday was a guy holding on to the ball in practice. This is practice. Why not let it rip and just practice? If it's just practice, why not throw it deep? Why not stretch the football field? Why not try to see what works? He got balls batted down. He threw behind guys. It just was not a good practice for Jimmy Garoppolo. And the eyes will tell you. There's fans who were down there in Santa Clara, 888-957-9570. If you were at that practice, let us know what you thought of Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm saying you, every beat writer now is writing, Trey Lance, if there was no open competition, well, guess what? We may have to rethink that one because there is an open competition right now. This quarterback job is up for grabs, Shasky.
Look, man, there's you don't want to believe us. That's fine, and I understand it. Believe it from the players, because I'm watching the player reaction.
Wow.
DJ Jones.
What about Debo's reaction when Jimmy G threw that interception?
So Ayuk has a couple of steps on Verrett and is going down deep fly pattern, and Jimmy just patting it, double clutches, and then like a crow hop throw down the field, and it was like a wounded duck that came up 10, 15 yards short. Now, look, you could throw a bad pass here and there. Even Trey Lance throws high. No one's saying he doesn't throw high. It's the decision-making in real time is just slow, and he doesn't get rid of it in time. And there's a couple of nice throws that Jimmy had. Look, there's a couple of things that Trey can't do that Jimmy can. And one of them is the lob touch pass. Jimmy's good at the lob touch pass. He really is. But I would say he's got to work and process quicker because he is going to get sacked time and time again. He held the ball for way too long. And because they're in pads, if we're going to tell the whole story, let's tell the whole story. Right. Because they're not in pads, you cannot hit the quarterback even when they put the pads on.
No, you don't hit the quarterback at all.
So he's holding the ball for like 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds.
What? For what?
Because he's just too afraid to get rid of the rock. And I'm just telling you, man, go down there. I walked by Grant Cohn early on. Grant Cohn's been following the team for a couple of years. And I said, oh, my God, dude, this guy Trey Lance. And he turns to me and goes, it's fun, isn't it? And that's the way I would describe it to 49er fans. Just get ready. We got 15 years of It's Fun staring us straight in the face. And this is why I mean this, like, everybody wanted to trade for Aaron Rodgers. I wanted a year or two of Tom Brady a couple years ago. You know what? It worked out perfectly.
It did.
Because we have got our own. This kid is going to own the
special.
Bay Area for the next 15 years. You don't want to agree with me right now. You say we're too premature. I'm willing to die on this hill today because it's coming.
Again,
Whether it's now,
right.
week 1, week 5, it's coming.
Again, I've been going down to a lot of practices over the years. This is the best practice I've seen from a quarterback in a 49ers uniform since I've been going down to practice.
How giddy
it was
are you?
electric. It was electric. Every time he rolled out, every time he ran, it was like, wow. Wow. He was like a turbocharged Donovan McNabb with a little Mahomes in him, with a little Josh Allen.
How about the
guy
agility?
can make every throw on the football field. We're going to continue the conversation. 888-957-9570.
I couldn't sleep Saturday.
Oh, nobody could. Nobody could. If you're a 49er fan watching that practice or hearing about that practice, you probably didn't sleep well either. August 14th can't come soon enough for the 49ers when they take on the Kansas City Chiefs in their preseason opener. We're going to have a lot of fun today. Legal tampering period starts at 3 p.m. NBA free agency. What will the Warriors do? We'll get into Joe Lacob's Q&A with Anthony Slater. That was a lot of fun. Also, Chris Bryant makes his debut with the Giants, and he goes yard. We're going to get a Gabe's World here on the Morning Roast, and now through September 3rd. Get this. Training Camp Insights every Monday and Friday at noon with San Francisco Training Camp Live, hosted by myself and Joe Shasky. Find out who's hot, who's hurt, and who will make an impact come week number 1. I got a feeling number 5, Trey Lance, may be making that impact. Follow San Francisco Training Camp Live exclusively on the Odyssey app, Mondays and Fridays at noon. You can also access the show on demand wherever you get your podcasts. Odyssey is your home for all the sports, podcasts, music, and the news that matters to you. Download the Odyssey app today.
Listening to Damon, Ratto, and Cole.
is what the sign said. 2-1 Houston.
Now, back to the Morning Roast, presented by Timeless Coffee with Kate, Bonte, and Shasky.
Is that Chris Bryant's walk-up music?
What is
Little
this?
Wiz Khalifa?
Astronaut in the Ocean by Masked Wolf.
Masked Wolf.
Hey, turn this up a little.
I'm not bad at
Yeah,
this.
this knocks.
I'm not bad at this.
Hey, I'm gonna be real with you because we're gonna get right back into the Niners, and we got tons to talk about with Joe Lacob doing his best Eddie D impression.
Right.
This beat Knox, and Chris Bryant got mad swag.
It does have swag. By the way, down at practice Saturday, how's the DJ? Because I've been hyping up the DJs down there for years.
You had like the Shazam app. I don't know what app you had. And the next thing I know, this guy's got 7 different songs loaded up, and we were blasting on the way back.
Dude, I mean, the beats at training camp was just slapping.
Hey, we were dancing.
Slapping.
Me and you were doing our best Miami Vice impression because we both had ridiculous hats on like we were doing a jungle cruise. I'm telling you, though, your boys, we're fogged out. We are used to 60 degrees and a little overcast, and we'll wear some shorts.
We don't do well to the weather.
It was like 80,
hot weather.
85, and your boy was melting.
I was cooking. 888-957-9570 if you want to get in on a conversation. What was your big takeaway from a great sports weekend here in the Bay Area? Chris Bryant gets traded. That was his walk-up music. Gets traded here to San Francisco Friday afternoon. Loves it here. Says, man, I kind of had a feeling I was going to end up here. What he did wearing number 23, looking saucy, batting number 2 yesterday. He was second in the lineup, and he hits a bomb to get the Giants kick-started there. 2-1, and they started snowballing. Darren Ruff had a big-time game. His at-bats over the last 3 weeks.
Told you.
I've been blown away by him. I've warmed up to the guy. Darren Ruff looks like a baller.
Absolutely.
Posey's doing his thing. Yastrzemski's now getting warmed up. But Chris Bryant setting the table yesterday, giving his dugout a jolt. Because they needed to make a move, Shaska. We discussed this on Friday. He couldn't sit there and just watch the Dodgers pick up Max Scherzer and pick up Trey Turner while having Mookie Betts come back yesterday.
And he was playing second base, too.
Unbelievable, right?
It was kind of surprising.
Wow, surprising as hell.
Yeah.
Dude, Farhan made his move, a big splash, trading basically peanuts for Chris Bryant. Peanuts for Chris Bryant. And now the Giants sit here 3 games up on the L.A. Dodgers, 66-39. Still have the best record in baseball. And by the way, shout out to Logan Webb, who had another nice, solid performance on the mound yesterday.
Let's do a little Gabe's World, because I got a little something on Gabe Kapler. Gabe, let's do this, baby.
I think we'll go with a little Bohemian Rhapsody, gentlemen.
Good call.
When it comes to Gabe Kapler, anything goes.
First of all, I think pressure is always a good thing. The brightest lights can sometimes bring out the best performance.
Now he's been ejected. Kapler's been ejected by Joe Webb.
Panda costumes and baby giraffes and all of the fans of San Francisco.
Gabe Kapler's 100% right. Kapler launches one. Fair or foul? It's gone! Gabe Kapler has won it!
It's time for Gabe's World.
All right, so Gabe Kapler makes tons of headlines driving in on a bicycle with a giant backpack, the tightest jeans I've ever seen in my life.
Tight, ripped jeans.
He looked like a pro wrestler from the 90s. And then he had the black jean jacket with the hat on while holding the Phil's coffee, all while driving in. And while you're at it, go check out Timeless right now. Timeless just opened up a brand new spot out there in Oakland. They got a new one coming here in San Francisco. I'm fired up with my Timeless. I got my Spider, got my Scorpion on right now on my coffee. But Mr. Kapler, even though you were wearing the Mission Gentrifier outfit yesterday, what did you think of Chris Bryant's appearance in his first ever Giants game?
I thought he looked good. I thought he fit into our lineup really well. And in particular, in that first at bat, you could tell that he's going to be a guy that grinds pitchers and sees pitches and fights off pitches and puts good swings on the ball. So I thought it was a good debut for Chris.
I mean, Chris Bryant batting in the 2-hole, wearing the shades while batting. This dude's he's big time, Bonte, and he helps this lineup because all of the subsequent at-bats are in better spots in the order. Buster Posey has protection. Obviously, Brandon Crawford comes up in RBI situations. Darren Ruff in the 6-hole?
Wow.
Are you kidding me? Donovan Solano as a 7-hitter?
Yeah, I like that.
Now we're talking about extending a lineup. And against the Houston Astros, that was a World Series preview to me.
No, I mean, the series, these last 2 series against the Dodgers and against the Astros because the Giants win the series against the Dodgers 2 out of 3. Cueto going 6 innings, and they win 5-0 to win that series. Then you play the Astros where they came in swinging the bats Friday. What did Gausman have? His pitch count Friday night in the first inning?
8,000.
It was in the 40s. It was insane. But he battled, but the Astros just had a little bit. Jay Jackson gets touched up. Altuve hits 2 home runs. So now you're in the hole against the Astros. You're just trying to win a game. And they bounced back Saturday to win that game in a slugfest. And they had to slug it out. You get 4 or 5 home runs in that game. Lamont Wade Jr. hitting a home run over his mom.
Magic.
How cool was that?
That was magic.
It was unbelievable. And then you win a game like that yesterday, falling behind 2-0. Logan Webb says, you know what? I gave up 2 in the first inning. I'm going to battle. And the young man gets to the 7th inning, only gives up 2 runs. You beat the Astros 2 out of 3. This bodes well as they're in Arizona tonight for a 4-game series against the lowly Diamondbacks. I like where the Giants are at right now, making this move. Am I looking a little concerned about the starting rotation? Sure. Gausman's got to fix it.
Yeah.
He's got to get right. DeSclafani's got to get right and get over that Dodger bug that he has right now. Alex Wood, not bad Saturday, not great. You basically expect what you're going to get from him. Feels like now the wild cards are Johnny Cueto and Logan Webb. If they can give you anything, if they can give you 6 innings per start, we're talking about big things in October for the orange and black.
What I loved is that in the Dodgers series, there was not one home run hit by the Giants, and they won the series. And then the very next series against the Astros plays out completely different. And is a total slugfest, and they win the series.
Yep.
And it just goes to show the multiplicity of the roster that they've put together, and that the way that they win changes on a night-to-night basis. The Lamont Wade Jr. home run, Bonte, you can't just gloss over it. This guy's mom comes to see him play, is out in the arcade. Her son's at bat comes up. She's standing there with the Giants cameras, and the dude hits a home run over his mother's head.
That's insane.
To go into the water.
That's insane.
If that isn't a microcosm for how special of a season they're having right now I don't know what else to say to you.
And the Giants beat Zach Greinke Saturday. They never beat Zach Greinke.
I know.
They never beat Zach Greinke. They hit 5 home runs on Saturday. There's a stat they threw up on NBC Sports yesterday, NBC Sports Bay Area, where the Giants, this franchise dates back to the 1800s. It feels like.
The original National
League. They've hit the most home runs for a Giants team through 105 games.
Crazy.
More than the 2000 Giants, more than the 2002 Giants. They've hit the most home runs as a team in franchise history through 105 games. Just think about that.
I know.
We didn't think this team had any power. You got Buster Posey, Crawford, Belt, Lagarde. Nobody in their right mind thought this team would hit all these home runs. Craw is back, and he's come back hitting.
Did you see some of these plays? These defensive plays. I don't think we've given him enough appreciation, B. He has put, in one season, a career's worth of highlights at shortstop. I thought Omar Vizquel was the greatest shortstop I've ever seen, and they do it so different because Omar is like a ballet dancer. Craw is ridiculous. Every ball he gets to, I'm like, yeah, he's going to make that play. Like, we kind of yawn at how freaking amazing this guy is. Like, do you think we give him the proper appreciation? He's the best defensive shortstop I've ever seen.
Well, he's getting it now. I mean, do I want to go best defensive shortstop I have ever seen?
For the Giants.
For the Giants. Oh, absolutely.
For the Giants.
No, not even close. It's not even close.
It's
not even close.
And I thought 40-year-old Omar Vizquel was that dude.
He's not even close. It's not even close. The Gold Glove was won 2 months ago for Brandon Crawford. 2 months ago. And he comes back. He gets his shift. He has the big double against the Dodgers to win that series Thursday afternoon. Brandon Crawford's having a hell of a season, and we didn't appreciate him. We underrated him. Well, he's getting his flowers now. He's getting his flowers now in a contract year. You got old man Posey, right? Posey looks rejuvenated, batting .329. Now he's batting 4th, and he's running the bases like that. He looks fresh and healthy as we turn the calendar to the dog days of August, where teams wilt. And you look at the Padres right now. They're fading.
Tatis hurt his shoulder again.
Hurt his shoulder, and they didn't make the trade for Max Scherzer.
Yeah.
That clubhouse right now is down and out.
And real quick on Scherzer, his velocity's down, his spin rate's down ever since the spider tack thing. I'm just saying. Here's the other thing. I can't stand Altuve. That guy is such a great villain. Would you agree with me on that?
He's a baller, man.
He is.
He's a baller.
For a 5'0"
Right.
guy
He's
to
a
hit
baller.
yaks like he does. Like Rafael Furcal was a guy I thought had massive power, proportionate to his height and size. Altuve is way better than, and Furcal was awesome.
Dude, Altuve's good. Gurriel's good. He goes 3 for 4 yesterday. He's batting .324. Yordan Alvarez has nothing but power. They're missing Alex Bregman. Tucker's good. How about the play Carlos Correa made at shortstop?
Yeah, he's sick too.
He is sick.
He's a free
gonna
agent.
Get paid. Yeah, he's going to get paid.
I don't think I'd
this
play him
offseason.
at shortstop, though, with that back.
Yeah.
He's a beast.
He's a guy who's had some injury issues, but, man, he is a fun player to watch. Look, and Dusty, I root for Dusty Baker.
Of course we do. But, the thing about adding Bryant to the lineup, Buster's going to get the best pitches that he's ever seen in his career. And I love him batting behind Chris Bryant. And I also just love the way it extends everyone else in that lineup. Like, you go Lamont Wade Jr., Chris Bryant, Buster Posey.
I love it.
I mean, come on. You can do a
a
lot worse than that.
They had Yaz batting third yesterday. We'll see how they tinker with the lineup in the
excuse
future.
me.
Yaz
Yaz,
was batting
then
third,
Buster,
and then
excuse
Buster.
me.
Then you had Crawford at 5. And Darren Ruff, look, when Bell got hurt, I had a lot of doubts about first base. I had a lot of doubts, and I didn't even realize we got a break right now. But I had a lot of doubts about Darren Ruff. He goes 3 for 4 yesterday with 3 RBIs. He's batting .278. Played a good first base as well. His at-bats over the last 3 weeks, Shasky, he's had some of the biggest at-bats for the Giants, and he works the count and stays patient. So we'll continue with the Giants. We got Niners training camp. Trey Area, it's here. It's arrived. We'll get into Trey Lance and what we saw at practice on Saturday down in Santa Clara. Plus, we'll get into Joe Lacob's Q&A with Anthony Slater. I think we're going to speak to Anthony Slater a little bit later today at 8:50. Plus, Dave Fleming on the Giants with a back-to-back series against the Dodgers and the Astros. That's all coming up here on the Morning Roast with Joe Shasky, the Butcher Boy, Bonte Hill. Kate Scott out in the Olympics covering basketball as the segment was presented by Golden State Lumber, open from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday with some locations open on Saturday. Visit GoldenStateLumber.com for more information.
Reddit user Flamo Damo says, this is the worst phone
With Kate, Vontae, and Shasky.
That was back on draft day, April 29th, when Trey Lance was drafted by the 49ers after they moved 3 first-round picks. And they moved from 12 to 3, trading places with the Miami Dolphins to select Trey Lance as their quarterback of the future. And you know what, folks? 888-957-9570. The future is now. After what we saw Saturday, and after what we will see in the first preseason game against Kansas City, I'm saying that right now. Shaska, you've already said you're ready to die on this hill. I will be shocked if Trey Lance isn't starting at quarterback for the 49ers when they hit Ford Field against the Detroit Lions in week number 1 of the regular season. I will be shocked if Trey Lance is not starting at quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers.
I'm right there with you, and I'm going to be 100% honest here, and please get in. It's a 10-year anniversary today at 957 The Game, and we're just not your traditional radio station. Now you can kind of pick and choose how you want to consume us. You want to watch us, go on YouTube or Twitch, search 957 The Game. You want to listen on the Odyssey app, download that app while you have it on your phone, throw it in your ear pods while you're at the construction site or you're in the back of BART or whatever it is. Listen to us that way, or the old school way, right on the radio, 957 The Game on FM. I didn't know what to expect from Trey Lance on Saturday because, people I think that you and I went there with the sole purpose of having a narrative in our head. I went there thinking, all right, man, I'm going to go see a rookie who's probably a little overwhelmed, who needs a ton of polish, and is probably going to look like a rookie. I knew that the kid physically was going to impress in shorts.
Right.
Believe me, I understood that.
Right.
But then when you just see the subtleties of the drop back and then how the individual conducts himself within the framework of the pocket. When I look at somebody like Colin Kaepernick, one area that he never got better in as the years kept going on was in the pocket, he never felt fully comfortable. And he didn't understand how to have the quick agility. And I think Tom Brady, although he wouldn't win in a 40-yard dash, what he has a great ability to do is the subtle step left, step right, step up, step back to make that rusher miss completely, create a new platform, and then throw. That is like next level quarterback play. And I'm watching Trey Lance here, and I'm saying to myself, I watched him time and time again, step up, step back, step sideways, open up the field a little for himself, allow his receiver to get to the next window, and then rifle it in there and not hesitate and throw not just the check down, because my dad's always worried about check down. Can he check down? Does he know how to hit the short stuff? Because that was an area Kaepernick really struggled. Touch on the underneath stuff. And Tom Brady excels at throwing underneath to the running backs.
No doubt.
A lot of hidden yardage. Alvin Kamara with Drew Brees. Think about that. Like how much hidden yardage. But he's hitting that secondary, that intermediate slot, 10 to 20 yards down the field, and he's just rifling it and hitting guys in stride. Now, there's a few behind guys. There's no doubt about it. But when he hits you in the belly button, you catch it and can turn upfield and have green grass in front of you. Ayuk did it multiple times.
Ayuk did it. He had a long one there, 15-yard in route. Trey Lance hits him in stride. He turns up the field, gone. Even he's talked about the checkdowns. He hit a ball on the flat. I forget who was wearing number 82. I got the roster up here.
Dwelly.
Number 82, Ross Dwelly. No, it wasn't Ross Dwelly, though. May have been Trent Sherfield.
It was probably Sherfield, 81.
Yeah, it probably was. But it was in the flat, and he throws a dime in a flat, and the receiver is able to catch the ball in a flat and turn up and run. Turn up and run. It was like, wow, and he zings it out there. So you don't have that chance to get a pick six. Sanu dropped the pass. Perfect dime, and it was low. Hit him in the hands. Was it a little behind him? Sure, but it's a catchable pass. This guy, Trey Lance, already looks the part. And look, as you said, we're not trying to create a narrative. We're not trying to create a quarterback controversy. It is what it is. If you're Kyle Shanahan and you're Mike McDaniel and you're watching the film right now from Saturday's practice, and you're watching all the practices, and you're watching Trey Lance go down the football field, isn't this what you want? A quarterback who's looking for chunk plays? This was the biggest difference in Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick. When Colin Kaepernick replaced Alex Smith, the 49ers went from a 13-play offense that got you 80 yards and resulted in 3 points to a 5-play, 80-yard offense that was scoring touchdowns in less than 2 minutes. You got to have chunk plays. You got to have big plays. You got to have quick drives in the NFL.
And I just want to let people know, because they're going to go, they're in shorts. There's no pressure. There is pressure, number one. Both guys had the same pressure, all right? Both guys had the same situation out there where the offensive line had moments, but for the most part, the right side got dominated.
Mike McGlinchey, let's just say this. Let's just say that.
I'm very
worried.
Mike
McGlinchey got dominated.
I'm very worried about him.
We sat there and watched the O-line and D-line drills one-on-ones.
Yeah, I'm worried.
Art Key hit a spin move on Mike McGlinchey and got to the quarterback and left Mike McGlinchey in his dust. Later on in the one-on-one drills, Eric Armstead comes off the edge. After Eric Armstead got pummeled by a lineman, he got stonewalled.
Yeah.
He comes back in and one-arms basically with his right arm and just slams McGlinchey into the turf to get to the quarterback. Mike McGlinchey, yes, he put on 25 pounds. He looks a lot better.
He did look a lot better.
But he did not look good in team drills or one-on-one, so I'm a little concerned about that. Hey, look, you mentioned a 10-year anniversary for a 95-70 game, and part of the reason why we made it 10 years and why we're going to make it another 10, to 20, to 30 years is because of our great callers, our great listeners here at 95.7 Game. So we appreciate them, and we want to go out to the phone lines right now. And I want to go out to Oakland, a guy who's called in. He doesn't call in every day. Calls in maybe twice a month, but when he calls in, he makes his presence felt. It's my man, Dame in Oakland.
Let's go.
Dame in Oakland, you're on the roast here on 95.7 The Game. How you doing, my man?
Hey, Bonte Bush was popping, man.
Oh, I'm
man,
so
long time
fired
no
up.
talk, man.
Happy
What's
10
up?
years.
Hey, congratulations on that. That's a big milestone. So congratulations to both of y'all, coming from where y'all came from and getting to where y'all at. So that's dope.
Thank you, man. That means a lot. I'm serious. And thank you to people like you who listen and care about us, because we ain't a station without people like you, and I mean that.
All right, now put your seatbelt on, because I'm about to get on your head. So check it out. Now, Bonte, all this time, I've been telling you about Jimmy Garoppolo, man. And all you've been doing is defending him and defending him and defending him. And I wasn't doing it from being a Raider fan. I'm a Raider fan in and out. But it ain't got nothing to do with the Niners, right? I was just telling you about your quarterback. He been trash. And now you got a better quarterback. Trey Lance is dope. And I guess you needed something to put next to him, so you could see how bad he was. But I told a youngster in the gym the other day, Jimmy Garoppolo will not start for another team unless there's an injury.
And you know what, Dame? You are probably right. You're probably right. And I just didn't want to diminish what Jimmy G did, because he did some good things with the 49ers.
He did.
I don't want to just trash him and say, because when he got traded here, Dame, the Niners were trash. And he gave Niner fans hope.
Hey, but that was a good trade, though.
It was a good trade.
Yep.
I actually thought he was going to do good for y'all.
Yep. And he helped them go to a Super Bowl. He was all right.
But, Dame, here's the thing with the guy. He hasn't gotten better, and he is his confidence.
It's done.
I honestly felt tremendous empathy for him.
Hey, Dame, he looked like a third-string quarterback Saturday. I'm not even playing. He looked like a third-string quarterback Saturday, and he looked shook. And he looked like a guy. We look at character, right, Dame? And he's cursing at the podium after day number one. That's not really Jimmy Garoppolo.
Nah.
He doesn't drop bombs like that and try to act like a tough guy. He is shook, and I think Dame, he's going to be off this roster by week number one.
Hey, real quick, because I'm going to get off the phone and let y'all do y'all thing. But you right. I don't know he's going to be off the roster. He probably going to be y'all backup because y'all still got some money to pay him. But at the end of the day, Trey Lance going to do y'all some good. Arden Key, you know he came from
Hey.
He looked good.
Hey, Arden Key looked good. So did Mo Hurst.
He's super fast. Like, we didn't use him right, so that he didn't work with us. But he y'all got an asset right there. He going to be all right if y'all put him in the right position. He going to be a dog. Don't get it twisted. They call him Optimus Key on Twitter. He's a dope cat. Hey, y'all keep doing what y'all doing. You know what it is for me.
Thank you, Dame. Thank you, Dame. I love him. What a legend.
David Oakland.
What a legend.
He is a legend.
He is, dude.
He is a legend.
Hey, but so a couple of things here. On the Jimmy G thing, just the confidence for the guy, the moxie. He holds the ball for so long. And to me, I don't know if it's the indecisiveness is because he doesn't trust himself. I don't know if he's thinking I can't make a mistake. I don't know if he doesn't trust his own arm strength. I'm not sure what it is. But look, the elements were very comparable, okay, for Trey and for Jimmy.
Right.
Guys cannot sack them, but you got to make decisions quickly. When I watch Russell Wilson, right, he can let the play continue to go on and go on and go on because he's unbelievably athletic, and that's literally how he plays. Backyard football. Him in structure is probably, he's good in structure. He's better freelancing. Jimmy needs to play within the fabric of the offense, and I'm watching a guy just indecisive, unwilling to rip it. Then he comes off the field and someone else jumps in, whether it's Sudfeld, whether it's Josh Rosen or Trey Lance goes in there. And Jimmy's off to the side by himself behind his teammates, working with a quarterback coach on the hip movement
I don't even know if it was a quarterback coach.
Who was that?
It felt like a quality control coach. I'm like, Shasky, look. Why is Jimmy there where you see Trey Lance? He's itching to get back in the huddle.
Yes.
He's itching to get back in the huddle. He's right there.
And the wide receivers and the offensive linemen are around Trey. And I'm not trying to make more of it. I'm just telling you what we saw.
Look.
The team was responding to this guy. And the frustration from Debo and Ayuk, especially on the deep ball that was interception. Debo rips the helmet straps off and is looking over come on, man. That right there told me everything I need to know.
I have no reason to lie to anybody out there. I have no reason to try to create some quote-unquote narrative or some quarterback competition.
It is what it is.
Jimmy Garoppolo looked like a third-string quarterback on Saturday. Now, can he look better today? I hope so. Can he look better tomorrow? I hope so. I'm rooting for Jimmy. But you know what? The throws, the lack of velocity, and he just looks small. And the presence. There's a guy when Steph Curry steps on the court, there's a presence. When LeBron steps on the court, there's a presence, an aura, all that stuff. Trey Lance stepped in a huddle, was like, ooh, okay. There's some swagger here. There's a dude who's confident. There's a dude who's like, yeah, I'm going to let it rip this play. You get open, I'm going to get the football to you. The receivers don't have the confidence in Jimmy the same way they have confidence in Trey Lance. And look, a lot of people said Jimmy looked sharp. They had opinions about Jimmy looking sharp on Saturday. Shasky, I didn't see a sharp quarterback. I didn't see a sharp quarterback at all.
We watched all the drills, and he couldn't even throw tight spirals during the drills. He was high. He was slow. And, again, man, I'm just watching. I'm telling you what we saw.
Download the Odyssey app.
Yep.
Discover hundreds of new exclusive music stations available right now for sports and music fans, by sports and music fans. Check out Tailgate Crashers. Crack a cold one and get game day ready with tunes from all your country faves. I can't believe I'm saying country faves. My cousin Antonio out there, T.O., as they call him. I don't want to give out your government name, but T.O. was saying country faves. But said it sounds like a 17-year-old girl. And he has this voice, right? Hey, cuz, country faves, don't cuz. All right, anyway, the new Odyssey exclusive stations on the Odyssey app, brought to you in part by Macy's and Geico. And you are listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco, an Odyssey station, brought to you by Timeless Coffee. Download the Odyssey app and listen to all our interviews from the weekend, including Dave Fleming coming up at 8 o'clock. Let's go up to Sacramento, Shasky.
Okay.
Let's go up to I-80 and talk to Uncle Charlie up in Sacramento. Uncle Charlie, what's going on? You're on the roast.
Congratulations, 95.7 The Game. Trey Lance, touchdown. Let's make them dance. Let's make them dance. I can't wait to see y'all on Saturday. Uncle Charlie will be at the train camp seeing Trey Lance do his thing at the camp, and I will be selling my T-shirts. Call me or go to my website, www.UncleCharlieLLC.com, and I want 95.6 games to wear the Lance Make 'em Dance.
I'm going to buy one.
How you doing?
Uncle Charlie, I'm going to buy one, and I'm going to tell you this right now. Bonte. I'm not kidding when I say this. This is going to be the most anticipated preseason game of 49ers in decades. Like, I'm being real. I told my boy Rocco, I'm like, look, dude, you got to be there for this game because this kid is going to unload on the Chiefs, and it is going to be one of those, remember where you were when Trey played the Chiefs in preseason?
No doubt.
Like, I'm being this is not hyperbole.
Yep.
I am so excited to see him destroy another defense.
Right.
I can't be how many hidden yards were there for the run?
I saw 4 scrambles for at least 80 yards. And look, I get it. 408, you're saying you're 510, you're keeping the receipts. This is practice.
Keep 'em.
All this stuff. This is why you're not an owner. I get all that. If it's just practice, then why isn't Jimmy Garoppolo just letting it rip? What are you waiting for?
And I'm not doing this with Sudfeld. I'm not like, oh my God, you got to see Sudfeld. I mean, This guy Sudfeld, he can run, he can throw. Like, I'm telling you right now, I went in not knowing what to expect and actually kind of cringing a little like, I just hope it's not a disaster because you move so much to get this kid, right? And when I look, Division II or whatever they call it, Division 1A, I don't know what the heck the term is, right. North Dakota State. He barely played any football last year in the team stuff. And I'm seeing this kid, I'm like, if you would have told me he was 25 years old and a multiple Pro Bowler in the NFL, I would have been like, yeah, I don't think you're wrong. Like, that's how polished he looked. And yeah, he threw some high balls. He wasn't perfect. There's a lot he needs to work on. When he had Eric Armstead jump offside because of a cadence, those are the subtleties.
Right.
Like, people, it's a marathon. You got to wait it out. Right. There's lots that Jimmy does better than him. Outside of lob touch passes, there's nothing on a football field right now that Jimmy Garoppolo does better than Trey Lance.
Look, I see a lot of Twitch, a lot of YouTube comments here. They are jacked up right now. Jacked up about Trey Lance.
I wanted Jimmy to be better, B.
Look, I expect him. Look, they draft Trey Lance number 3 overall. First of all, Jimmy Garoppolo should. This is the one thing that bothered me about him over the years. They're flirting with Tom Brady. You're talking about Kirk Cousins during the week of the Super Bowl. Your head coach is discussing Kirk Cousins on how he could have been a fit in this offense. That's when I need you to drop the F-bombs and S-bombs saying, I'm the quarterback of this team. I'm the franchise quarterback. Instead, he was like cool with them flirting with other quarterbacks. That to me was a bad sign. It's like, dude, this is your team. Take ownership of your team. This is you. You're the quarterback of the 49ers. And it seemed like he was cool with it. And they were transparent with him saying, yo, we talked to Brady. Yo, we're going to take a quarterback. And they move up the number 3 overall to take Trey Lance. And Shanahan said this back on April 29th when Trey Lance was drafted in the 2021 NFL Draft. Here's what Shanahan said about Trey Lance possibly starting at quarterback.
And that's why I like the situation that we are in. Now, we'll see where Trey's at. We'll see how he does in OTAs. I love that we're getting those. I love that he's going to come here tomorrow. We're going to be able to talk to him in person. But Jimmy's our quarterback right now. And Trey's going to come in here. He's going to compete. He's going to do everything. And the day that it looks like Trey can compete with him and he's ready to go, then we'll know that. Our players will see that, and we won't hesitate on that, just like I feel like we won it at any other position. We know someone we can win with. We have a very good backup now in our number 2 with this rookie who we believe will only get better and better. But the day he's ready and the day he gives us the best chance to win is the day that happens.
And that chance and the chance that Trey Lance gives this 49ers offense the best chance to win football games, that day may be already here.
Well,
the day may already be here, and we just got to August. It's August 2nd, and that day may be here already.
Well, then that's like my biggest takeaway, and I'm just looking over, and all the people that are standing there, I'm saying to myself, I'm watching it, and I'm looking at the players. I'm saying, how in the hell can Kyle Shanahan look Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk in the face and be like, yeah, Jimmy gives us the best chance to win? Because what I saw on Saturday, that you'd lose them. You'd lose the locker room. Like, everybody's like, oh, no, you guys don't know what you're talking about. It's practice. Practice is how they evaluate who's going to get ready for the game.
Right.
And yes, they've got to go out and do it in the game. There's different steps to the process. When I'm watching the entire sideline go, ooh, when this guy unleashes the ball. How about the throw to Brandon Ayuk? He steps up in the pocket and throws an absolute howitzer to the secondary part of the field.
Beautiful.
And then Ayuk catches it, spins upfield, touchdown, gone.
Touchdown, gone. Gone. It was the first throw of the day for me because the first 3 snaps for Trey Lance, he basically scrambled, got out the pocket, got yards.
Well, the right tackle got blown up, and he just took the yards that were there, which would have been a Jimmy sack.
And here it is. When he dropped back and let it go to Ross Dwelly, stuck his foot in the ground and fired an out route to Ross Dwelly and hit him in stride, that's when you and I looked at each other and said, oh, he's different.
Yes.
He's really different. He has electricity in that right arm. He looks ready to go. Let's hear from Adam Schefter because everybody was going crazy Saturday. We do the video right after practice.
Yeah, I'm just giving you our reaction.
Look, shout out to Debbie, the security guard. She was awesome down there at Levi Stadium.
And shout out Tessa for getting us on the field.
Tessa's
that was awesome.
great. She's
Thank
awesome.
You, Tessa.
She's an MVP down
sweetheart.
there in Santa Clara. So we do the video right after practice. Grant Cohn's doing his thing. Right? Trey, I told you guys, Trey's the best quarterback out there.
He said it best to me. He goes, he's so much fun.
He
couldn't be more right.
He's so much fun. And then you heard from Adam Schefter later on in the evening on NFL Live say this.
Up until today, Jimmy Garoppolo has been a standout performer. Today, threw a pick 6 to Fred Warner, threw another interception, and guess who lit it up with some deep passes?
Oh, boy.
Trey Lance. So, look, for everybody who's paying attention, and everybody will all summer long, this is the type of jockeying that will occur. Make no mistake, Jimmy Garoppolo is the starter, but the more days we get like today, the more people will discuss whether Trey Lance is going to be taking over as the starting quarterback. And look, when you take a quarterback number 3, you trade up to get him, this is the conversation that comes along with the veteran quarterback like Jimmy Garoppolo, no matter how good he's looked. And I was told yesterday he's looked as good as he's looked ever playing football in training camp. But today, not as good. Trey Lance, really good. And now we'll continue to chart this and monitor it as the summer progresses.
And if you don't think there's going to be a controversy at some point this month, in the month of August during training camp, you're blind. You are highly mistaken. I'm telling you guys.
Let me take it in another direction, B, because I get what you're going at. I'm going to say this. I can't wait for the rest of the Bay Area to see Trey Lance live. No, I'm serious, because it's going to be awesome. It really is going to be awesome. Like, B, am I wrong?
Look.
The kid's going to set the internet on fire.
4 sets of eyes. All right? We may be going crazy over a practice, and I've been going down to training camp practices for about 5 to 6 years now. It is the best training camp practice I've seen from a 49ers quarterback since I've been covering training camp down there in Santa Clara. It is the best practice I've seen from a quarterback. And it's just practice. But come on, man. Aren't you trying to win? Aren't you trying to complete passes? Debo and Ayuk respond differently to Trey Lance playing quarterback than they do to Jimmy Garoppolo. It is what it is.
Well, and talk to Bill Walsh, Bill Belichick. Practice is the most important thing about football. Like that's where you show who's worthy and who's not. You're going it over and over and over again. Look, man, all I'm going to say is I can't wait for the Bay Area to get their eyes on Trey Lance in a real game. He's going to light it up against the Chiefs.
He is. Well, I'm looking here, right? I'm looking here on the YouTube comments, and no sense of urgency with Jimmy G. RMQ. No sense of urgency. And that's what I saw Saturday. And I see certain writers saying that, look, he's experimenting. It's different for him. This is his 4th training camp. Jimmy has to play like this is his first training camp.
Exactly.
He can't afford to experiment with anything. He has to look sharp day in and day out because the deeper we get into training camp, the better Trey Lance is going to look. It just is what it is. Let's go to Blind K by the Bay. Blind K, good morning. You're here on the roast on 95.7 The Game.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Oh, man, we're fired up.
I'm pretty excited.
We're fired up right now.
Yeah, me too. I'm quite excited. I can't see, but sounds like Trey can definitely play.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can. He can play. What's your thoughts on it? What's your thoughts on the reports from practice on Saturday?
I'm jacked up, just like getting Chris Bryant and hitting a home run.
Yeah, I was pretty fired up for that too.
All that, lots of good things in the Bay.
I love it. Good call. We're in the parking lot, B, and we're about to leave Levi's. We're right near the team store.
Oh, this is great.
And all of a sudden, a family walks by. These two ladies. I believe one was mom, one looked like grandma, and these 2 little boys. And the little boy had on a Jimmy G jersey, and I turned and I was like, "What did you guys think of practice?" And the kid, Trey Lance. Lance.
Trey Lance.
He just yells it, and I go, I know, he looks great. You're going to have to get yourself a Trey Lance jersey. They walk by us. 30 seconds later, they come back in the other direction. Grandma looks over. She's like, yeah, we're going to go in the team store and buy him a Trey Lance jersey. I swear to God. I swear to God.
That was hilarious. Shout out to Pinto, too, who was in front of the team store, because the family was great, because they started walking back. And they're like, yeah, we got to get that Trey Lance jersey right now. Pinto was in front of the team store. Bonte Butch got on his IG Live, and he's like,
good.
Trey looks good? Oh, my gosh, I'm so hyped about Trey Lance. All right, here's what's coming up.
I can't wait for everyone to see him.
Dude,
I really can't. It's so much fun.
Here's what's coming up on the game, brought to you by Stanford Healthcare. More Trey Lance. Trey Lance at practice lit it up Saturday afternoon. What does that mean moving forward for the 49ers? And let's get into some Golden State Warriors, because NBA free agency legal tampering period starts at 3 p.m. today. We'll be all over it here on 95.7 The Game.
For the 7th year in a row,
start in 2021. It's a matter of when. It's a matter of when. And I'm telling you, and Shasky, you said it best. You can't wait for the entire Bay Area to see what we just saw on Saturday. We had somebody text us earlier, 650. I was at practice. Trey looked phenomenal. That was from the 650. I mean, it's just, I'm not here to lie to our listeners. By the way, thanks for 10 years of great radio here at 95.7 The Game. Our 10-year anniversary is coming up, and it's partly due to our great listeners here at 95.7 The Game. So I want to thank the audience and the listeners because we wouldn't be anything without all our listeners and callers here.
Well, and I think that's what kind of separates our station from everything else that's out there is that, look, at the end of the day, I mean this sincerely. I'm a diehard sports fan. And I get giddy when I see talent that I've never seen before. Right, B?
Right.
There is just something about seeing a Comet. And I kept thinking about Tim Lincecum. And I know it's a totally different sport. But I'm like, LeBron James is a great example. Not that Trey is LeBron, but what I'm saying, I remember the day when I saw Dickie V do the high school basketball game with LeBron James. Do you remember that?
Against Oak Hill, number 1
Absolutely.
overall.
Me and my buddy Seamus sitting on our Guello and Golden Gate in a tiny little ridiculous apartment that was absolutely disgusting on our little tube television watching LeBron James, and I remember exactly where I was, and I was like, oh, this guy's ridiculous.
Oh, I remember rushing home at 4:30. I went to my boy Marcello's house. My boy Marcello, who's out there, was living on Dolores and 14th or 15th, right there off of Market. And I ran home, and I was like, you got to watch this LeBron James, guys. It was 4:30 tip-off. I was like, we got to watch LeBron. You got to watch LeBron. And he went out there and dropped the triple-double against the number 1 team in the nation, and they beat him by 30. And you just knew.
But again, even LeBron, there were people out here going, well, pump the brakes.
Right.
This isn't going to work at the next level. It's just a high school game. It's just this. So there's always going to be people that are saying, calm down, relax. And I understand that. And they're not wrong. But I'm telling you, as a fan, as someone who's been watching games my entire life, I'm as excited about this player as any player I've ever seen for the 49ers. And I couldn't believe how far along. He's not a finished product.
No.
He's going to sail some balls.
Yep.
He's probably going to hold on to the ball in a game longer than I want him to. He might run into some trouble and get hit at some point.
Right.
Look, no quarterback is perfect. I'm more excited about this player, and I feel like he's closer than I ever would have dreamed at this point. I thought he wasn't going to play all year. I really did. I thought, this is Jimmy's team. I went in here expecting Jimmy Garoppolo is going to look head and shoulders better than him at everything, all the subtleties, the nuances. That's just not the case. It's undeniable how good Trey looks.
Well, that's why when Jed York, the owner of the 49ers, came out and said, we're comfortable with sitting Trey for 2 years and letting Jimmy play quarterback. There's no way in heck Jimmy Garoppolo's holding off Trey Lance for 2 years. For 2 years? There's no way.
That's a sure bet, Rick Barry.
Right. Yeah.
And I'll take that to the bank. What was the line? Come on, Rick.
510, too. 510 as we find a Rick Barry line. So you're saying Trey looked good as a first rounder against a bunch of players that won't make the team?
Explain this to people.
Well, this is what I need to explain. Half the defense wasn't even playing.
Exactly.
Bosa, Kinlaw, Ford was out.
Yep.
Drake Greenlaw was not out there. Jaquaski Tart was not out there.
Yeah, I didn't see Tart.
Emmanuel Mosley has COVID right now.
Mm-hmm.
K-Wan played at times, which is why Jimmy Garoppolo should have looked better than what he did.
Exactly.
Because he wasn't going against the entire starting defense. He was going against some backups as well. Trey Lance looked apart. He tore apart the backup defense. He tore apart.
No
and
doubt.
Fred Warner was on the sideline like, wow.
Yeah.
DJ
Not
Jones
me.
looked up, not me.
Fred Warner. Yes.
An all-pro middle linebacker,
Yes.
the best linebacker in pro football. DJ Jones, a very good role player on the defensive line, was sitting there on one knee saying, yes, sir. Wow, that guy looks good.
Javon Kinlaw was standing there, and when he made a throw over the middle to Ayuk, he turned to whoever was next and says, wow, that boy. Just like that. And I was like, come on, man. These are his own players, his own teammates being wowed by him. And I get it. He's going to wow at practice at times.
Right.
But for me, it wasn't just the wow moments. It's the basic moments. Now, and I saw this all across the night. It's funny how you see it being written on Twitter, and I watched it. The handoff exchange where there was a fumble. Mike McGlinchey got absolutely eaten up on that play by Arden Key.
Right.
Okay? Arden Key was in the backfield before Trey could even stick the ball out.
Yep.
I believe it was to Gallman on that play. I'm not sure who the one who dropped it. It was Gallman.
Sermon, it's Gallman. It was one of those guys.
Two.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, Trey fumbled. Like, no. Like, isolate that play. That was all right tackle.
Yep.
Any quarterback wouldn't have been able to get the ball out on that particular play. So, again, I'm giving you the full body. I'm not here to just tell you, oh, my God, Trey is the best. He's done no wrong. He just looked like a player who'd been in the league for 4 or 5 years, and he looks like he can do everything.
But I think it's amplified Trey Lance's performance on Saturday because of how bad Jimmy Garoppolo looked. It amplified Trey Lance's performance because Jimmy Garoppolo was so unimpressive. Even the first pass he completed, left flat to Raheem Mostert. He threw it so behind Raheem Mostert in a game that is a pick six. And it was a play he should have been sacked on. And it's like, that's not good. Ayuk's coming across the middle. He's got to step on his guy. Jimmy Garoppolo throws it, but it's in the air forever where Ayuk has to stop, and as soon as he catches it, he gets tackled. Basically, there's no yak advantage here. There's no opportunity to get yards after catch on a play like that. Jimmy Garoppolo was unimpressive, and I don't want to hear about him possibly experimenting. Experimenting with what? To cover what flaws? You got to go, man. You got to play well to keep your football job, to keep your starting quarterback job here with the 49ers. You are on the brink of being traded away, being treated like Matt Flynn if you don't step your game up. I'm serious. Jimmy did not look good on Saturday. And I know it's just practice. I don't know what happened the previous 3 days. I know what I saw on Saturday. And what I saw on Saturday was a quarterback that looked unsure of himself.
That's the best way to put it. Here's the thing, though. If we're going to be fair, he made a really nice throw to Dwelly where he kind of looped it up and over. And that's the kind of throw. If we're looking at, like, next-level quarterbacking for Trey Lance, he doesn't have that throw yet. He throws a lot of laser beams. He throws a lot of 100-mile-an-hour. I still think they're very catchable. They're not at your ankles the way Kaepernick threw it. But he does need to develop the touch over the top pass, and that's going to come with time. And I know everyone's losing their minds about us saying, it's practice, they're in shorts. Hey, man, the elements were almost identical for both players. Just go out there and watch it. I mean, just go watch it with your own eyes, and I can't wait for everybody to see this. I'm legitimately excited to share this secret with the entire Bay Area because that's what it is right now. And if you were out there, I want to hear from you if you went to practice because, B, how many fans were out there?
A lot. It was packed. It was sold out. All these practices are sold out.
Hey.
And the fans that were leaving and walking into the team store, we said Trey, and they said, wow. We said Lance, and they said, let's dance. I'm serious. They were blown away by what
100%.
we saw. And it wasn't just us. Let's go to Bay Rob in the city. Bay Rob, one of our finest callers here at 95.7 The Game. Good morning, Bay Rob. You're on the roast.
What's up, fellas? Hey, I'm not surprised. You surprised?
No.
We know what Jimmy is.
A little.
We know what Jimmy is.
Bay Rob.
So
I'm a little surprised.
Jimmy gonna have to come correct.
I hear you, Bay Rob. Bay Rob, real quick before you continue your call, I am surprised at how well Trey Lance or how good Trey Lance looked so early on in training camp. I expected him to have some rust. He didn't look like he had any rust. It looked like he was a 5-year veteran at practice, commanding the huddle, commanding the offense, where Jimmy Garoppolo looked like he was indecisive. He's trying to make the roster. He just looked different, Rob. So I am surprised by how bad Jimmy looked on Saturday.
You know what? Jimmy knew what it was coming in. He knew what he was coming in. So why is he playing games? First of all. Second of all, he know that young dude coming gunning for him. So, you know what I'm saying? This is all on Jimmy. You know what I'm saying? If he get his spot took, he get his spot took. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, but I'm pumped. I'm hitting game 2 in Philadelphia. Me and my boys, we finna go hard in the paint in the Philly area for week 2, September the 19th. And hey, Butcher Boy, I am from the Bay. Alamany, the Black Hole.
Let's go.
San Francisco finest, Butcher Boy. But Butcher Boy, we got more ties than what you think we got. I grew up in St. Mary's Park where you used to play baseball. I know you know Thatcher. I know you know Reggie.
Yeah.
I know you know Racer. You know what I'm saying? I know you used to play softball at Glen Park with my folks. So we got more ties than what you think we got. You said you grew up in Excelsior. I used to play flag football against Excelsior.
Let's
so
go.
I'm straight from the Bay, baby.
Let's go.
Love it, Bay-Rob.
Hey,
We
Bay-Rob.
love it, Bay-Rob.
If it wasn't for St. Mary's Park, I wouldn't have the soul that I have. Reggie Racer, Reggie Milligan. I mean, that whole Reggie Gage, that whole entire squad up there, all the different guys that used to play ball up there. There are a lot of great athletes coming out of that park. A lot of great athletes coming out of that park.
Yeah, Reggie Milligan. Shout out to Reggie Milligan.
I love
That's
Reggie.
my guy,
Reggie's
man.
out there somewhere.
He's out there somewhere
Trey
lurking.
Look good? Yes, Trey looks good, Reggie.
And he's already starting the rumor mill. He's telling his folks, I got sources that say Trey Lance is going to be starting week 1. I know how you operate, Reggie. I know you're inside and out. Let's go to Anton in Oakland.
Bay-Rob's good people.
He is good people, man. I love Bay-Rob and his passion. What's up, Anton?
Hey, man, first of all, congratulations on 10 years, man, on the air, and I enjoy the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much, honestly.
Sasky, man. Hey, Sasky, man, you called into the weekend show, man, and what happened was I was going through the tunnel, so I didn't catch when they introduced your name. And when I came out the tunnel, man, you was lit up about this guy, man, this land. And man, I just enjoyed the call, man. And you kept saying, "Hey, man, I don't want to hijack the show. I don't want to hijack the show." And then you would go on for like another 5 minutes. Hey, man, I don't want to hijack the show. Hey, man, thank you for bringing it to us, man, with so much emotion. I enjoyed that call immensely.
Thank you.
I was just going to try to get on and talk about the Warriors because they had some kind of little monotone Warrior spiel going on, and you just lit it.
Hey, thanks for the phone call. Let me say this. I'm going to say this. We're driving up 101 North, right? And we're passing the airport. I'm about to drop Shasky off. I'm going home, be with baby Chaz and Anna. And I'm like, isn't it sad that nobody's called us from the station to talk about what we saw at practice? Well, I dropped Shasky off. I go into the house, and I get a text from Jason Dumas. Trey looked really good at practice. I'm like, oh, they're about to call me. What do you know? I'm like, yeah, Trey looked really good. Okay, we got Butcher Boy on right now. I'm like, I just said this dude 5 minutes ago in the car. It's just hijacked 95.7 because he couldn't wait till Monday 6 a.m.
I couldn't. And here's the reality is,
man.
hey, B, you couldn't either.
I couldn't either.
Keep it real. Because not only did I talk, I called 95.7 because I Loveman, put me on. He's a producer. I said, Loveman, let him know I don't want to hijack their show, but I'm ready to rifle off like 35 straight minutes of Trey Lance content. Let me know. Then after I was done there, I got a call from my boy Rocco. I fired off another 35 minutes to him. Then my dad FaceTimed me. I gave him 35 minutes. Then my brother called me. I gave him 35 minutes. I shot out every single person I knew in my contact Rolodex. I was copying and pasting. Everyone who knows me knows what I think. And I'm telling, this is the honest God truth, B. I mean this.
That's too funny.
I mean this. I am so excited to share the Trey Lance experience with everyone else. Because, B, keep it real. Did you not? It reminded me why we love sports so much. Because I think we get so caught up in the, can we trade Wiggins? Can we do this? They need to do this. And this team needs to do that. And why do we keep losing? And, this guy's hurt. Seeing a young prodigy up close and personal, it's like, oh, my God. It felt like an enlightenment moment. Dude. I felt like I hit my Buddha peak.
Dude, we walked around that practice field, said what's up to DJ Jones, D Ford, Bosa's just working out by himself, right?
Yes.
Looking like a freaking Greek goddess. So like, hey, what's up, Big Bear? Hey, what's up, bro? And it's just like,
Bosa.
You know what, Bosa? Just do you. You hit quarterback. You hit running back. We won't say anything else to you.
His thighs are wider than me.
I know.
His one thigh is wider than me.
And he has the gold Jordan cleats on.
Unreal.
Coming around the edge. I'm like, all right, this dude is a monster. Just let him do. You don't even need to practice.
He is humongous.
You don't even need to practice, dude. You just stay on the far field, do what you want to do. And we go see Trey. We're all there at the practice field. The beats are bumping from the DJ.
I was feeling
the fans are jacked up. And it was like Trey was lighting it up. Shout out to Brad there, SF Niners on YouTube right now. He's jacked up because we went. How many IG lives did we do?
I don't
just
know.
At the
that's
practice?
right. I forgot I did IG Live too.
IG Live with Brad.
That's right.
In the car. We did an IG Live with Pinto, the fan in front of the 49ers Museum. And you talk about the phone buzzing, right? I get in the house and I'm telling Anna, oh my God. She's like, can you take a nap before we go to David's house for his son's birthday? I'm like, Trey Lance. I said, babe, Jimmy Garoppolo's done. I did not put the phone down until 10 o'clock at night. I may have called you twice on Saturday after practice.
I'm telling you.
It was just unbelievable what we saw on Saturday.
I'm telling you. And here's the thing. Like, look, you don't want to believe us. I get it. Like, believe me, I get it. I get it. Peter King said it. Adam Schefter's saying it. Everyone's saying it. Did you see Mariucci? Mariucci was like, did you see some of those throws? And I'm like, yeah, I seen some of them throws.
Dude, so Peter King and the Monday Morning Quarterback. We will get to Warriors at some point. And this segment is presented by Go to State Lumber, open from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday with some locations open on Saturday. Visit GoToStateLumber.com for more information. Peter King and Monday Morning Quarterback is saying, I'm on the sidelines of the second Niners training camp practice, standing behind the defense. And he said, he's talking about the music playing on. And he goes, it's hard to hear yourself think. Offense versus defense, unpadded, on the practice field. First-round rookie Trey Lance takes a snap, gets chased to his left, fluently, calmly, portraying no sense of rookie yips. Up the left seam, maybe 18 yards down the field, wideout Brennan Ayuk has a step on a corner. Lance whirls so his body is mostly facing Ayuk, and he whips a hard spiral, maybe 23 yards downfield that Ayuk plucks out of the air. Big gain. And then the sound coming from the defenders standing in front of Peter King. Oh! Translation, this kid might be the goods. That's from Peter King. And you could just see it, Shasky, from the defense's reaction, from Deebo Samuel's reaction, from Brennan Ayuk's reaction. They were ticked off at the passes they were catching from Jimmy Garoppolo because they had no chance of getting the yak. Where Trey Lance is just throwing the ball down the football field and people are getting jacked up. The fans getting jacked up, the coaching staff getting jacked up, and the defense thinking, man, we don't have to pitch shutouts.
I expected him to do wow things, right? I didn't expect him to be so polished on the basics, on the inside the pocket stuff, on how to step up and read through the progressions. I was blown away. And here we go. From the 650, Oscar and EPA, East Palo Alto, shout out. I was at practice Saturday. Trey looked special. Jimmy looked flat. And that's exactly how I would describe it.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's another nugget from Peter King. He goes, I learned this too at my time in Santa Clara. The team gave every player an iPad to study plays and the playbook and that day's game tape. Of the 90 players in camp, guess who iPad has registered the most minutes used on the Niners internal server, where every login is recorded?
Wow.
Trey Lance's iPad.
Wow.
So not only is he doing it on the field, he's in this room right now on the iPad just devouring the 49ers playbook and studying film. I love that from a rookie. They're tracking who's on. How is Jimmy Garoppolo not stepping up saying, I need to be on this iPad every single day? Now, he may know the playbook, but you haven't mastered it.
Well, it's one thing to know the playbook. It's another thing to go out and execute it as well. And I think that I just go back to the reluctance to throw the ball down the field. I just get rid of the ball.
I don't
like
get
over and over and over. I'm like, get rid of it. And if you're going to lack the mobility, you have to process quicker. Like there's trade-offs here. Like Tom Brady, does he have mobility?
No.
But he processes faster than anyone, right?
Good mobility in the pocket, knows how to slide in the pocket left and right, but he's not your quote-unquote mobile quarterback.
And gets rid of the rock quicker than anyone and gets it to guys so that they can make plays. And that's the area. It's like Jimmy just can't do it. There was a play, and he's talking about the one to Ayuk where he rolled left. Think of Brandon Crawford going into the hole towards second base. He fields it and has to contort his body and throw over to first base across the diamond. Trey did 2 or 3 of those, and I was like, that's a sack. That's a sack for most guys. This guy's getting out of it. And he doesn't even have to complete those plays. It's the mitigation of negative plays for me. Forget the positive wow plays. The mitigation of the negative play. So many times last year, the 49ers find themselves behind down in distance. And it's because there's just too many negative plays. Hey, the guard misses this guy, completely whiffs, and next thing you know, boom, sack, 2nd and 18. Now I'm out of down and distance. I'm off schedule, and I'm probably going to end up punting. With this guy, he has an opportunity to just wiggle out of that and throw it away.
How about him there was a play he rolled out to his left, and he's looking for a receiver. What you're just discussing here, Sasky, what you're talking about. And he just throws it away. But he tries to make something happen. Defender, he's playing like he's juking the defender, just has the defender on a string. And he's like, I'm just going to throw it away. Look, 888-957-9570. We'll get in the Trey area a little bit later. Trey Lance looks the part. He looks the part, and I can't wait for everybody to see this August 14th against the Kansas City Chiefs. Trey Lance looks the part. Yes, he's the number 3 overall pick. And also another thing, when we're riding back home, I'm thinking to myself, how the heck did the New York Jets pass up on Trey Lance and take Zach Wilson?
They're going to regret that forever, Bonte. That's all I kept thinking about. Forever.
How did Shanahan get his hands on a guy like this?
And I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I'll take it a step further. Did Jacksonville even look at? Look, I get it. Trevor Lawrence. I know everyone's like, how could you even spew this out? When you have the number 1 overall pick, if you don't think every other quarterback is going to be compared and contrast to the other quarterbacks,
right?
Like, I'm just saying right now, Trevor Lawrence better be the real deal, because I know in my heart at some point Trey Lance is going to prove it to everyone. Wow. All I got to say as well. One last thing too on that draft class.
Right.
Banks is a keeper.
Banks looks good.
Banks is a keeper. I don't know where he's at in terms of, dominating day one, but I'll tell you this.
Right.
He's a keeper.
Look,
he's going to be a 10-year player for this team.
I love this from the 415. Funny how Bonte flipped on Jimmy overnight. People have been saying this about Jimmy for a long time. Look, Jimmy was good in 2017 when he made this franchise relevant again. It wasn't Shanahan. It was Jimmy. When they made the trade from New England, Jimmy came here and won 5 games with a bunch of no-namers and George Kittle. Won 5 games, and they beat some damn good teams. The Tennessee Titans, who advanced to the playoffs that year, lost in the second round to the Patriots. The Jacksonville Jaguars, who advanced to the AFC Championship and blew a game against the Patriots in Foxborough. He looked really good on the road against Houston, where he takes a hit against Clowney and gets smacked and still delivers a dime to Carlos Hyde, who dropped it. It went right through his hands. Goes to Chicago, helps him win a game when he didn't even know the playbook. 2018, the expectations for the 49ers were through the roof.
Yes.
People thought they were going to the playoffs with the receiver in Dante Pettis and Trent Taylor and Kendrick Bourne. We thought that was a playoff team. And when he got hurt against Kansas City, people were saying the season's over. And you know what? The season was over. I'm not going to diminish what Jimmy did for this organization. I'm not going to diminish what he did in 2019. He had some really good games. He had some very subpar games. They were a couple throws away from winning the Super Bowl, a couple plays away from winning the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs. But when I saw the Trey Lance film back in November, I said, wow. And if Shanahan doesn't trust this guy, because that's the biggest thing I said, if you don't trust Jimmy Garoppolo, well, it's time to go get your quarterback. Stop wasting our time with Jimmy Garoppolo if you don't want him to play quarterback. And he went out there and got Trey Lance, a guy that we all loved, Shasky, back in November when everybody was on the Zach Wilson train and they fell in love with Justin Fields after lighting up Clemson. Trey Lance is better than all of them. All of them. And when you see Trey Lance at practice, I could be Jimmy Garoppolo's number 1 fan. I'm not here to say that Jimmy Garoppolo is better than Trey Lance. What I saw on Saturday, with my own 2 eyes, and I could be the biggest Jimmy Garoppolo fan in the world, Trey Lance is better than him. It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not going to sit here and cape for a guy who's not better than Trey Lance. No, I'm not going to do that.
Look, we're just telling you what we're seeing. Again, it's undeniable. Like, I turned to you, I said, it's undeniable. Like, this guy is next level. It's unreal. And the part that gets me giddy, and I know, it's August 2nd. Pads come on tomorrow for the first time. I'm so giddy because the future's so bright. Like, sky's the limit for this guy. And I'm serious on that. Sky's the limit. Finally, the 49ers have a futuristic quarterback. And when I mean quarterback, he is a quarterback who also happens to be the best athlete on the field. Like it's not the other way around, because I think there's a big distinction. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, best athlete on the field who's trying to play quarterback? No. This is a quarterback, and you said it, and I'm going to keep saying it. Whoever worked with this kid on the nuances,
Quincy Avery.
B.
He looks polished. He's a guy, when you read the nugget from Peter King in a Monday Morning Quarterback where he registered the most time on his iPad, and you think about the work he did the offseason to get ready for the NFL draft, this kid put in the work.
Hey.
He put in the work.
B, I went to the first ever Alex Smith game. He was 20 years old coming out of Utah.
He looked terrible against Indianapolis.
He just looked so overwhelmed.
I was at that game. I took my little brother to that game. It was his first ever game.
He was so overwhelmed. Just so overwhelmed. And you contrast that with the guy at the height of his powers in Peyton Manning.
Matter of fact, he threw a pick 6 in that game, right? He threw it on a quick
I think he only completed 5 passes.
Yeah, he threw like 5 picks. Kevin Barlow also dropped the pass, and that was the end of him.
And I think the game has gotten so sophisticated from a passing standpoint. These guys have never been more polished and more ready in the pocket than now. Like, it is accelerated at a rapid pace. I'm looking at Trey Lance. I'm like, that isn't even the iPhone. That's whatever the next generation of technology is. Look, because we talk about the rotary phone and the iPhone. When I handed someone the iPhone, when they first saw it, they didn't even know what to do with it.
Look,
it's so revolutionary, it shocks you.
Look, Jimmy had a chance to take this quarterback job and take it, and it could have been his for the next 7 years. Last year was a big year for him, and unfortunately, he got hurt. Quentin Williams falls on his ankle. He had a chance to do some things. Now, he also had a chance to carry his team against Arizona in the first game of the season. Yeah, I know you have Trent Taylor out there. You have Kendrick Bourne and Dante Pettis, but you got to win that football game. And there was a throw to Kendrick Bourne late in that football game that he did not complete. That could have got the 49ers a victory. You got to win those games. And him being hurt has left the door open for whoever came in. It left the door open for him. 2019 was good, and I think Jimmy deserved another chance to start in 2020. For whatever reason, the Tom Brady deal didn't go down, and I'll sit here on the record saying I didn't want Tom Brady. I thought Jimmy deserved another crack because of the games he helped win in the last 9 games of the regular season, where everybody said it's the toughest regular season back 9 stretch in the history of the NFL, where you got to go to New Orleans, where you got to go to Baltimore, where you got to play Arizona twice, where you got to play the Rams on a Saturday night, where you have to go up to Seattle. But what I saw Saturday again, I cannot say this enough. Trey Lance looked like the best quarterback in the building. Straight up. And it is what it is.
And it's not an isolated play. He's throwing a use check with no one on the field. It's play after play after play. It's the good plays. It's the bad plays. It's in between plays on how the teammates are responding to him. How's the coaching staff responding to him? What's he looking like when he doesn't complete a pass or when there isn't something there? Again, his ability to throw the ball away and only make a throw to where only his guy can get it or no one's going to get it, that is an underrated skill for a 20-year-old.
And look, everybody's saying training camp reps. And remember when Jimmy threw 5 straight picks in training camp? Well, he didn't have a Trey Lance behind him.
No.
He didn't have a Trey Lance behind him. He had Nick Mullins and C.J. Beathard behind him, where he could probably afford to have a bad day or two in training camp. It's different this season. Trey wants the starting job. Trey wants to play right away. If you're a competitor, and I don't care if you're a rookie or a 10-year vet, Trey Lance hasn't played football in nearly 2 years. I mean,
didn't look like it to me.
Didn't look like it to nobody who was watching with their own 2 eyes. Now, there could be people denying that. They could say, Jimmy, when it gets to ones and this and that, whatever.
They're entitled to their opinion.
Trey wants to play right away, and he looked like it on Saturday afternoon.
And let me give you just some data from Ben Meyerson on Twitter, by Ben Meyerson. Since 2011, 13 quarterbacks have been selected in the top 3. All have played in their rookie season, and only 4 didn't start week 1. Now, it would be unprecedented to not play Trey. In fact, the 4 who didn't start right away were Goff, Bortles, Trubisky, Mayfield. 3 of those 4 aren't mobile, and the other one can't throw. I mean, the data is telling you the truth here.
It is the truth. And the truth is Trey Lance is the best quarterback in the facility right now. Now, whether he starts week 1, week 2, I think he gives the 49ers the best chance to win right now. Let's go to Danker in the City. Danker in the City, you're on the roast. What's up?
Gentlemen, good morning.
What's up?
What up? So I just got to say, we know when you play football, I know Tay played football. When you want to become a starter, when you want to stand out, you need to have those woo moments in practice because that's undeniable ability. That's stuff you can't practice for, literally. And then coaches are like, oh, I want to test that out in real game time, issues, see how people react to this guy. And Jimmy, the woo factor, it's more about his smile. We need undeniable ability that scares defenses, that we won't, have loaded boxes on us. So, thank you guys. Mm-hmm. Thank you for repping. I'm super pumped to hear how, Lance is playing, but that woo factor cannot be underestimated.
Well, and let's take it a step further. Forget the woo plays, because those are going to stick out.
Right.
We know Jimmy's not a woo play guy. He's consistent, right? He's going to be under the radar. I just think the ability to mitigate losses, like that is an underrated aspect of playing the quarterback position. Part of why Eli Manning beat the 49ers in the NFC Championship game, Bonte, wasn't woo plays, although they're important. It was the plays of, I'm getting sacked. Let me roll 2 steps and throw it away. Right? Let's live to see another down, and let's stay at 2nd and 7 as opposed to 2nd and 14, 2nd and 15. And just Trey gives you all of that.
Gives you everything, all that stuff. Switch gears for a second here.
Yeah.
Because we can talk Trey Lance all day long, but the Giants win 2 or 3 against the Astros, 2 or 3 against the Dodgers, and Chris Bryant made his Giants debut Sunday afternoon wearing number 23 with the shades on.
What a day.
And he goes yard. Giants down 2-0 trying to generate some offense. He goes yard. And the Giants win that game 5-3. They win the series against the Astros and Dodgers. They head to Arizona for 4 games. Dave Fleming will join us in about 14 minutes here on the Morning Roast. Chris Bryant changes the dynamic of this lineup. They're deeper. They're longer. And now it's like, where do I play Wilmer Flores? Where do I play Estrada? Tyro Estrada, for crying out loud, look good. Where do you play Ruff? Bryant can play everywhere on a diamond, third base, center field, left field, first base. Giants have good problems right now, and they're the best team in the league, making their counter move to the LA Dodgers when they acquired Trey Turner and Max Scherzer.
Huge acquisition of getting Chris Bryant. And I saw it on Friday. We saw it on Sunday with him walking onto that field. Get the cable car ready, and in honor of these bad boys being full service starting today for the first time since March of 2020, get the cable car going because the bandwagon is full, baby. Let's go. Hop on. Come on, Chris. Hey, right when he hit that home run, if I was Farhan, I would have been waiting in the dugout with a pen and a blank check right then and there, because the second he hit that home run, he breathed life into that dugout.
Dude, when he made the move Friday for Chris Bryant, it was like, okay, Farhan has made his splash. And he made his splash by giving up nothing. They still have Joey Barton on farm. You still got Bailey. You still have Ramos. You still have Luciano. You still have Bishop, Hunter Bishop, and the Bishop brothers, for crying out loud. You still have all these assets in your farm system. You gave up 2 guys nobody knew. And if you say you knew who these prospects were, you're lying. You're lying to yourself. I had no idea who? What? You traded that for Chris Bryant? Thank you, Chicago Cubs. Farhan and Scott Harris threw on their ski mask and straight up robbed the Chicago Cubs for Chris Bryant. And already he's paying dividends for the San Francisco Giants, and he wants to be here. He wants to be here for the stretch drive as we get into the dog days of August. Giants up 3 games on the Dodgers. Bryant, didn't Posey look re-energized yesterday?
Goodness.
Didn't Yaz look comfortable? Crawford. I love this move for the Giants.
And if you look at the last 2 series, you face the Dodgers and the Astros. That's playoff baseball, and they've won in a variety of ways. No home runs throughout the Dodgers series, tons of home runs in the Astros series.
5 on Saturday.
It felt like a World Series preview, though, B. I mean, it really did. And
it was
you know
high-level
what?
baseball.
Sign me up for 7 with the Stros.
It was high-level baseball. Now, I think the Astros are really, really good. I don't know if they get by the Rays. The Rays look good.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Rays are tough.
Yeah.
Boston's
Good
tough.
point. And they've made moves.
Heck, even the Oakland A's have made moves.
They have.
The A's made some moves, man, and they got to get Chapman. Did you see Matt Chapman batting 8th yesterday?
I mean,
he was batting 8th.
I don't know what to tell you, other than the guy is just having a really bad year.
It's just bad.
Right? I mean, what else do you want me to say?
There's nothing else to say. By the way, the Angels with those throwbacks and the pullovers.
So sick.
Go back to those.
Yeah,
time,
100%.
Go back to those. They're so nice. But the Giants.
Hey, by the way, is every Angel game like, the Angels lose 9-3, but Trout went yard or Ohtani went yard?
What a joke. What a joke.
Every game for the last decade.
What a joke that organization is.
I mean,
it's bad. It's terrible. No pitching, no bullpen. It's just, and they still get fans out there. Are people just bored in Orange County?
There's a lot of people going to Disneyland right now. It's right there. So who knows? Have you ever been to that stadium?
I have.
It's actually a fun stadium.
I've been on the outside of it. I haven't been inside yet.
It's a cool little stadium. I actually like that stadium.
They've renovated it a lot. They've done a lot of construction to it.
Yeah.
Because the Rams used to play there back in the day, and they've taken off the upper deck or whatnot. Yeah. It looks nice. The outfield looks nice.
It's a cool stadium. I like it.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all.
Underrated.
But Chris Bryant comes to the Giants. He hits a home run. Darren Ruff looking good, going 3 for 4 yesterday. And Logan Webb, like, here's the thing. The starting pitching is going to have to step up, right? Gosman hasn't been the same since the All-Star break. DeSclafani has a problem with the Dodgers. He just can't pitch against the Dodgers. Does well against everybody else. Against the Dodgers, he looks like a AAA pitcher. Logan Webb, over the last 3 starts, he goes 5, gives up 2 runs against the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Giants win the game. He goes 6 innings against the Dodgers, gives up 1 earned run. They win the game. They win the game with late dramatics here. I believe that was the game when Cody Bellinger threw it into the upper deck.
Mm-hmm.
And then yesterday he goes 6 innings after giving up 2 first-inning runs, and he battles, and he keeps the Giants in the game. It pitches into the 7th. Logan Webb pitching in these games as a 24-year-old is a very good sign for the Giants moving forward.
Yeah, and I love the way he's pitching. He's attacking people. He's not dancing. He's going right at them. And when guys get on base, I feel like he gets his most tough. I really do. And, man, the defense, Donovan Solano at second base is defensively becoming a problem the last week or so. But I don't want to harp on the negative. Dominic Leone, or however you pronounce his name, Leon, he looked good coming out of the pen, which was surprising. Rogers looking good. McGee, I mean, I'm knocking on wood here. He's been looking great in that 9th inning.
Still hasn't given up a run since May 31st. I mean, Rogers'
19th hold, though, Bonte.
Yeah, it's not bad, even though he scared me yesterday in the 8th inning.
I know.
He was a little rocky, but bringing in Tony Watson as a lefty, nice little sneaky move there by Farhan and Scott Harris there. And the Giants right now just got a lot of mojo going. They get out of the stretch. Remember we pinpointed this stretch where coming out of the break, okay, you got 3 in St. Louis, you got 4 at Dodger Stadium, you get a little break with the Pirates, but heck, they lose 2 or 3 to the Pirates. They had to avoid a sweep in that series. Avoid a sweep. And they gave up a first-inning run in that 3rd game against the Pirates. And then you beat the Dodgers again. You play the Astros. Now they get to breathe a little bit with the Diamondbacks, and then they have the Brewers on the weekend. A big-time series, which could be an NLCS preview. Milwaukee's tough. I mean, but the Giants, they look good, right? They don't look overwhelmed right now, Shasky.
Bonte, they look great. And getting Chris Bryant was exactly what the doctor ordered. I mean, it really was. It was the shot in the arm they're looking for. Right now, I'm looking at San Diego, and I'm saying, are we sure San Diego's going to hold up? Are we sure?
I think San Diego's cooked. And a couple reasons why. One, the Tatis injury.
The shoulder, again. Third time.
Right. Tatis Jr.'s out. But then also them not getting Scherzer when they thought they were getting Scherzer.
That's a good point.
And Blake Snell has been a disappointment for them this year with his ERA well over the 5s. They thought they were getting help in the starting rotation in the bullpen, and they got nobody.
Yeah.
They really got They got Adam Frazier. That one move, but they didn't really need offense. They needed pitching. And them losing out to the Dodgers in that deal, I think is a blow mentally to the San Diego Padres. And now they're thinking, boy, we are limping through the dog days.
Yeah.
We are without our best player right now in the lineup, a guy who's hitting bomb after bomb after bomb. They're leaking oil at the wrong time.
Well, I'm looking at that NL Central, and I'm like, don't sleep on Cincinnati. Yeah. They got some games against the Cubs coming up, and I think the Cubs, speaking of which, while we're here with the Cubs, it's an embarrassment to Major League Baseball that a top market team like the Chicago Cubs sold off players for nothing.
Wow.
For nothing. You tried to play with Chris Bryant's arbitration before he even played a game in the big leagues. And for what? For what? To see him get traded for the 11th and 14th best prospect in the Giants system? Are you kidding me? I am, honestly, if I'm a Cubs fan this morning, I'm disgusted. The Marlins operating like a low-budget team and selling a bunch of people off, that's expected.
Yep.
The Chicago Cubs can't find a way to keep Rizzo, Baez, Bryant, Kimbrel, all of these legends who brought you your first World Series.
Dude. Did you see
malpractice?
Did you see what those 3 guys did in their debuts?
Ballin'.
Baez, home run. Anthony Rizzo, 2 home runs. Bryant, home run in his debut with the Giants and his new team. So, they sold everything, and this is a team we looked at 2 months ago saying,
and I know
they may sell.
I don't
believe in a starting. I didn't believe in a starting rotation. Didn't believe in their bullpen, and they got smoked by the Brewers. And the Reds, you're right. Joey Votto went 7 straight games going yard.
Right.
It almost went 8 straight games.
I know.
The ball was like 5 inches away from going over the fence. You're right. The Reds have a lineup.
And the last thing you want to do is go to Cincinnati for a wild card game if you're any team.
You don't want to do that.
But my bigger point on the Cubs selling everything off is that I'm just glad, as bad as this deal and that deal, you can point to Belt and point to Hudson. at least the Giants kept their own.
Absolutely.
And, at least they won multiple World Series. We can say a lot about how we're frustrated with the organization and this, that, and the other. Dude, we're going to look back on Sabian and Bobby Evans. They did things pretty freaking right for this organization.
They did. Shout out to my cousin Mike Hill out there, who was also at practice. We saw him. He goes, Trey, that was impressive. Yeah. He's got to be the dude. Trey Lance, what's up, cousin Mike? I see you out there on the Twitter streets here. The new Odyssey exclusive stations are curated for sports listeners like you. Find your new summer soundtrack. There are hundreds of new stations for summer barbecues, road trips, working out, or relaxing poolside. You'll find a huge variety of music stations like arena rock of the 70s and 80s that conjures up memories of epic tailgate parties, mesmerizing light shows, fog machines, and lighters held high in the air. You'll find your favorite artists on Odyssey 2 on the all-new Artist radio stations. Check out the new Odyssey exclusive stations on the Odyssey app. Brought to you in part by Macy's and Geico. Flim! Next, to talk about those San Francisco Giants here on the Morning Roast.
Breaking news on 95.7 The Game.
Giants' first run of the day. Bryant, the Giant, is what the sign said. 2-1 Houston.
Now, back to the morning roast, presented by Timeless Coffee with Kate, Bonte, and Shasky.
John Miller on the call for NBC Sports Bay Area as Chris Bryant in his walk-up music right here hits a home run in his debut for the Giants to get him off the snide. They were down 2-0. I got my soccer reference. Yeah, I had to do it. I was trying to get creative there, and I totally bossed that one. 2-0. Hits a solo jack, and the Giants go on to win 5-3 and win 2 straight series over the Dodgers and the Houston Astros. And Shasky, let's bring in Dave Fleming as he's brought to you by the County of Santa Clara and Gordon Plastering. Flem, what a weekend at the Yard. And it all started Friday afternoon at about 12:56 p.m. where Farhan, and I know last week you joined us on the roast, you said, he's not reactive. But after seeing the Dodgers make that move for Scherzer, Trey Turner, and all these other moves going around a wild Major League Baseball trade deadline, Giants make their move, and they get a damn good player in Chris Bryant, and it makes this lineup look that much more explosive.
Yeah, it does. I don't think it was a reactive trade. I don't. I think they were working on this one for a little while, and they knew they wanted to improve their team. I think they were willing to be outbid if somebody just overwhelmed the Cubs, or they were in on some other players too. In those specific instances, if somebody was going to trump their bid, I think they were willing to be outbid. They weren't going to just do it because we feel like we have to do it. But I also think that I think when I was on with you guys 2 weeks ago and you asked me who the fit was, to me, the guy that I said specifically who was the best fit for the Giants was Chris Bryant. And so I think the Giants, I don't know if they totally agreed with me that it was like an overwhelming choice, but I think they did believe that this guy really fit a lot of the things that they needed, could make them better. And so Farhan did what he always does, and that is he kind of holds to his price, and then he makes his move if he gets his price. And I give him a lot of credit because it is clear after watching yesterday, how much this has energized the Giants and the fans. And part of the reason to do all this is because that kind of stuff is fun. And,
yes.
You build a team to be in contention, and then when you're in contention, enjoy it, go for it, excite everybody, and that's exactly what the Giants have done.
I mean, it was exactly what the doctor ordered. From the baseball side of it, obviously the positional versatility is outstanding. He played third base yesterday. But like what he does to the lineup, batting second, putting Yaz in the 3-hole, Buster in the 4-hole, Darren Ruff batting sixth. Are you kidding me? And Ruff has just been on fire. But what the Giants do behind the scenes, and Dave, I want you to kind of speak on this one because they're just class at every single turn. Bryant shows up, and in his hotel room, there's 23 jerseys just sitting there waiting for him. Now, this guy's going to be a free agent, and he might end up testing the waters. But it's the little things like that really just, man, this organization knows how to do things right. And I don't think we give him enough credit for that.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. He's a Scott Boras guy. He is going to test the market. I think that's almost 100% certainly true. That was not a move to entice Chris Bryant to stay long term. They did that because their intention is, hey, it's even if you're coming to a really good team and a great ballpark and we think we're really a great bunch to be with, even if you think that, it is unsettling to get traded in the middle of the season, even if you kind of know it's coming. You pick up your life, you move. It's a hard transition to make for any player. And so I think what the Giants are trying to do is just make Chris and his wife and his family feel as comfortable as possible. They're welcomed. They're going to be embraced here. I do believe that makes a big difference for a player, just to have that feeling. So good for the Giants for doing that because, that to me, that's not like a long-term, hey, we're going to get a discount from this guy. That's let's try to get this guy hitting the ground running and make him feel as good as he possibly can. And it obviously worked. I mean, he had a huge smile on his face all day yesterday.
No doubt about that. And another guy who had a huge smile on his face was Lamont Wade Jr., especially Saturday when the Giants hit 5 home runs against the Astros. They actually beat Zach Greinke. They never beat Zach Greinke. And Lamont Wade Jr. going to the Cove.
Magic.
With his mom there in the arcade as the ball sails over her head, How cool was that moment, Flem?
Well, we've had 89 splash home runs in the history of Oracle Park. That is the first time that any player's ever hit one right over his mom.
You confirm that? What the sources confirm?
Yes, we checked with Baseball Info Solutions. Yeah, I confirmed that. It was great. His parents, I think his parents were in Pittsburgh when we were there, close to home in Baltimore. But otherwise, they haven't had a chance to come out and see Lamont play. So they picked this weekend, and they watched their kid on Thursday. Well, I guess it was Wednesday. Hit 2 balls off his shin against Blake Trinan, go down in a heap, and then he can't play the next day. And so they're thinking, gosh, we came all the way out here, and our kid struck out 4 times and hit 2 shin burgers in 1 at bat, and now he's out of the lineup, and what's going on? And so it was great that Lamont gave them that moment. That's a moment they'll never, ever forget. The guy's good. He's legit. He's got to be able to stay in the lineup. He's a little this is about the 4th minor thing that's cropped up, and he's certainly not unique. I'm not saying it's his fault or anything, but now he's got a little tight back to go with the shin, to go with some of the other stuff that's happened over the course of the season. But Lamont Wade Jr. has turned into one of their best players against right-handed pitching, and let's hope that the back thing is fine, because Giants are going to see right-handed pitching all week long on this road trip. They need him.
No doubt about that. Dave Fleming here on 95.7 The Game on the Morning Roast with Joe Shasky, the Butcher, and Bonte Hill, of course, the voice of the San Francisco Giants. And you've called a lot of games, a lot of Giants games, Fleming. You watched this team growing up. I was shocked when you guys threw up the stat yesterday, the graphic on NBC Sports Bay Area, that the Giants, this team in 2021, has the most home runs in franchise history through 105 games. Out of all the teams you've seen, this is just shocking to me. That graphic really blew me away.
Yeah, it's crazy because that includes teams with Mays, McCovey, Cepeda. That includes the teams with Will Clark and Kevin Mitchell. That includes the teams with Barry Bonds and Will Clark. That includes the Ellis Burke, Bonds, Rich Aurelia, Jeff Kent team. You're talking about some legit home run hitters. It's easy for our new Giants fans to forget because this era of Giants baseball has not been defined by the home run. The Giants won a World Series in 2012 and hit, 103 home runs for the season, which is laughable. They've already gone way past that here with 2 months to play this year. This Giants era has not been defined by the home run, but the Giants franchise has been largely defined by the home run between Bonds and Mays and McCovey, going all the way back to the days of Mel Ott. The Giants were the home run hitting team. And so for this group, with this bunch of, some people are calling them misfits or whatever. That's what Bruce Bochy used to call his guys. Just a kind of an anonymous group coming into the year, for this to be the team that is setting the pace. And I don't know if they'll get all the way there because it is a pretty high bar to clear to set the Giants franchise record for home runs in a season, but they're going to threaten it because it's not, they went 4 days without hitting one, and you're thinking, oh, okay, maybe now the pace is going to slow down a little bit. Then they hit 5 in one game.
Yeah.
It's been a remarkable part of the story of this season. It's a testament to identifying specific talent, looking for something in players, and then also a testament to the team-wide approach that this group has, and that is wait till you get your pitch. The Giants hitting coaches like to say, get your A swing off as many times as possible. So, instead of just feeling for the ball or trying to put it in play or get your best swing off in one at bat as many times as you can and be happy with the result no matter what it is.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You bring up Mel Ott there, and me and Bonte were the kind of Candlestick kids that would run around that bad boy, but they had different things at Candlestick in the late 90s when they tried to doctor it up before they moved into the big park. 5'11", Mel Ott. I always think of the amount of home runs. 660, Willie Mays. You know what I mean? There's just certain things when you mention that, and you're right, they were defined by the home run. But you made a point on the broadcast yesterday. They don't homer at all in the Dodger series. They win that series. Then it's a slugfest against the Astros. They are playing high-level playoff-style baseball and winning in a variety of ways. To me, that's the hallmark of a playoff-bound team.
Yeah, they've had this record of scoring the most runs and percentage of runs via the home run of any team in baseball. They're hitting all these long balls. But if you look at their record in games where they don't hit a home run, it's like 500, which is really good. I mean, if you took all of baseball and said teams when they don't hit a home run, what's their record? Well below 500. So I do think that is a little insight into they're not a team that's a one-trick pony. They're not just dependent on one specific outcome, and otherwise they can't get it done. And, I mean, maybe that goes hand in hand to surviving all these injuries. They survived a stretch. We've already forgotten about it now because he's back and he's playing great again. But Brandon Crawford, the guy who you would think is the most indispensable player, or even, Buster Posey was out for several days and has missed a couple different small chunks of time this year, and Casali and Trump or Tyro Estrada. I mean, those guys have filled in, and the Giants have not sunk. They have not, watched their momentum disappear. They've held their own without those guys. So, even the players you circle and say, gosh, they can't afford to lose those players. Even when those guys have gone down, they've done fine. And it's just an amazing story in so many you can look at it in so many different ways, but there's a confidence with this team right now that looks pretty unshakable.
Yeah, I mean, the Crawford plays this year defensively in 1 year, he's got an entire career's worth of highlights for the montage on YouTube. But I'm not worried about him because he looks phenomenal. I am a little worried about the pitching, the starting pitching, to be specific. Kevin Gausman, are you worried about him?
Well, I think everybody in the game is worried about their starting pitching wearing down a little bit after last season. So I think the Giants, even before these results popped up, I think everybody's a little nervous about starting pitching. And I think teams are going to look for ways. It's one way where the Giants are going to be hurt a little bit down the stretch by this battle for the division. The Giants, with their record in basically any other scenario in the sport, other than being paired with the Astros, the Giants would be in a spot where they could take their foot off the gas pedal just a little bit, maybe give everybody a breather at some point between now and the end of the year in that rotation. And the Giants may not be able to do that because it's such a big advantage to win the division. So that could end up really costing this team. They're still going to manage workloads. The guy probably you're mostly referring to is Gausman.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And there is concern about Gausman, but I don't think it's concern about injury or fatigue. I think it's just purely concern about that split finger pitch, which can be finicky, can come and go, and right now he doesn't have it. And I thought we saw some really good signs in that last start against Houston, where after the nightmare first inning, he did pitch a little bit differently and found a way to make it work a lot better. And I'm hoping that come, I guess it's going to be Wednesday that he'll pitch again. I'm hoping that come Wednesday that will carry over into a start against the Diamondbacks. It will feel like a big start for him because this will be, now 3 in a row where things haven't been exactly right. I'm not concerned because I don't think it's an injury issue, but I do think he's got a lot of work to do to try to get the feel of that pitch back.
Well, one guy I'm not worried about anymore, Flem, is Logan Webb. I mean, talk about Logan Webb, who's 24 years old. In his last 3 starts, he gets some big boy teams. 2 against the Dodgers, and, of course, yesterday against the Astros. He goes 5 innings at Dodger Stadium. Giants get the win. Goes 6 gutty innings to start the Dodger series last week at Oracle Park. Gets a no decision, but pitches really well. Goes into the start yesterday with a 1.61 ERA at home. And after giving up 2 runs in the first inning, really battled and pitched into the 7th inning. This is a very good development for the rotation as Gausman tries to figure out the split finger. Wood battles through whatever he's battling through. Logan Webb has stepped up big time in these last 3 starts.
Yeah, and I think Wood's been just fine. Wood's been really good to me. I thought Wood's line did not indicate how well he pitched the other day against Houston. He was pounding the strike zone, and the Astros are just frankly good. They're good. Sometimes you get beat by a team like that. And Wood, I thought, threw the ball really well. And his start before that, Alex was excellent. So I think you're right to point out there's some other things happening aside from Gosman's struggles on the positive side. But number one among those is by far Logan Webb. He's run the gauntlet, man. That's 3 starts in a row against the 2 best offenses in the sport. And those offenses have not been able to get to him. Yesterday even, he gives up the 2 runs in the first inning. Go back and watch that inning. He made 1 bad pitch that inning. And Yuli Gurriel is just really, really good.
Yep.
He hit it a long way. He made about 6 great pitches before that. And Gurriel's fighting them off foul and in an 0-2 hole. And then, you make 1 mistake. You think maybe I can get away with 1 mistake. And the Astros hit it over the wall. Logan Webb has turned into something else. And he's the one to hold your breath on with the shoulder. To me, he's the one to just say, gosh, can we please keep this guy healthy? Because if they can, he's going to start in the playoffs. His stuff is that good against the very best offenses. It's just been a great development for this Giants team. Last year, they were kind of setting up the rotation maybe to avoid having Logan face the big teams. This year, they want him to face the best lineups because his stuff right now, Gosman's stuff is, when the splitter's right, is swing and miss, great stuff. But it's not as varied as Logan Webb's. His repertoire right now might be the very best on this Giants team.
Well, we'll see him again Friday against the Milwaukee Brewers in what could be a playoff preview. That team is really good in the NL Central. It's just the games get bigger and bigger as we get here to the dog days. Flem, great call yesterday. You guys are doing your thing in the booth. Giants are doing their thing on the field. Capper's managing. They get the big move with Chris Bryant. It's a lot of fun out here, and Giants fans are back. This will be a fun week on the road as they start a 4-game set against the Diamondbacks and then go to Milwaukee, the Kipes' old stomping grounds, to take on the Brewers in a 3-game set. Flem, we'll talk to you next Monday when the Giants have an off day.
Yeah, it's going to be super fun. And look, these aren't pushover games. The Diamondbacks they have their 4 best guys lined up. So the Giants they usually swing the bats well in Arizona. I think they're going to have to do it. I mean, I think they're going to have to put together a lot of good at-bats against the D-backs, and then we know what Milwaukee offers. I have not seen how the pitching lays out, but the Brewers have the best trio of starting pitchers in the National League in terms of just pure performance this year. Corbin Burns and Brandon Woodruff and Freddie Peralta have been the best trio of anybody. I don't know if we're going to see all 3 of them or not, but I guarantee you we're going to see a couple of them, and those guys are super tough. And
they got that Hader kid in the 9th inning who's throwing nothing but gas as well. So going to be a lot of fun this week as the Giants remain in first place. 3 games up on the L.A. Dodgers, and San Diego's leaking a little bit of oil as they deal with the Tatis Jr. injury. And they don't swing a deal for Max Scherzer as the Dodgers beat him out for that. A lot of fun, Flem. Great stuff as always.
Okay, talk to you next week.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Dave.
Have a great week, Flem. Dave Fleming here on 95.7 Game, the Morning Roast, and he was presented by the County of Santa Clara. You can get vaccinated right now for free at any of the drop-in locations, including its Eastside San Jose, downtown San Jose, Gilroy, Mountain View, Sunnyvale, and more. Call 211 or visit sccfreevax.org to find a drop-in location, drop-in closest to you, and presented by Gordon Plastering, the Bay Area's best for plastering, drywall, and fireproofing. GordonPlastering.com.
All right, so there's so much to get into today. We've been talking Trey and Jimmy G. We obviously got the Chris Bryant trade. We got lots of Warrior stuff to get into in just a second. But did you catch this one thing? real quick on this. Did you catch over the weekend who won the gold medal for golf?
Was it Morikawa?
No, it was Xander Schauffele from San Diego, my boy, Xander. Now, it was an incredible story, and the reason I bring this up, I love certain stories. We're talking about the Lamont Wade Jr., his mom happens to be out in right field.
That's crazy.
I mean, and he hits a home run right up and over his head.
Sick.
It was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Xander Schauffele's dad, who's his golf coach, was a decathlon athlete, and he was from Germany, and he had been trying to get to the Olympics for years upon years. As he's on the brink of getting on to the German Olympic team, he gets hit by a drunk driver. And his career is over. Okay? And he was apparently one of the best, and obviously that dream faded. And young Xander wasn't born yet, but his mother was born in a different country, but raised in Japan, then came to America, and obviously met Xander's father, and they resided in San Diego. So this San Diego boy goes over to Japan, his mother's kind of hometown where she was from and raised, and his father, who wanted to have a gold medal and never had an opportunity to compete in the Olympics, the dad was on the bag as his son wins the gold medal. I mean, that is a freaking cool story, is it not?
That is unbelievable. That is unbelievable. For some, I haven't been paying a lot of attention to the Olympics.
Nor have I.
Yeah,
I'm being
with
real.
a little bit of basketball here and there. I saw Luka did some things against Spain, but there's been so much going on right here in the Bay Area that I'm just like, the Olympics coming on late.
I know.
We have a morning show. Shout out to Kate Scott, who's doing her thing. I've got a couple clips of her on the play-by-play. She's doing a great job out there. But sorry, Kate, we haven't really been paying. I saw Morikawa marinara
Yeah, he was right in
sauce,
the running.
calamari. He was doing an interview, and I was like, wow, is he winning gold too? Is he winning gold too after winning it open? So Giants are doing their thing with KB. Flem, great with that. 4 games against the Diamondbacks. 3 against the Brewers this weekend.
Big.
And, of course, look, we want to thank all our listeners. 10-year anniversary coming up here at 95.7 The Game. I see our listeners and our audience here on Twitch, on YouTube, our roasters everywhere on the text line. The phone calls have been lighting up. Thank you guys for 10 great years here at 95.7 The Game. I'm happy to say I've been part of nearly 5 of them. And I got to say, the audience here, the interaction, it's second to none. It really is, man.
I agree.
And they make us step our game up because they know their sports. Our audience is smart. They know their stuff, so they keep us on our toes, Shasky.
I've been listening to sports talk radio in this market my whole life, and I've always been listening. I still listen to every single show all the time, and anybody who says they don't is lying. And I mean this. This station, we talk with the fans because I'm telling you, I'm still a fan. You're still a fan at heart. Yeah, we're lucky, and believe me, it doesn't get lost on me how lucky we are every morning. I don't take for granted that we get to wake up the Bay Area and talk with you, and I appreciate everybody who takes a second to tune in, to get onto Twitch, to get onto YouTube and subscribe. The people that download the Odyssey app, you guys are the reason that we have a station. If I was looking back on the last 10 years of Bay Area sports, since 95.7 basically was conceived, I think the gold medal in terms of most accomplished, best owner has to be Joe Lacob. It's hard because Larry Bear's done some great things, and I don't want to dismiss him. Same amount of championships, but I would say the excellence and the ability of transforming the organization from year 1 to year 10 in this last 10 years, I think Joe Lacob is the gold medalist.
And you know what? It's because the Giants are always on the brink.
Yes.
Growing up in the 90s, 93 team wins 103 games. They miss the playoffs. 97, they make the playoffs. They go to a World Series against the Angels in 02. The Giants are always close.
Agreed.
Always close. The Warriors was this decrepit franchise that was an afterthought. By the time January rolled around, we were done with the Warriors. We were like, okay, when spring training started, who are the 49ers? Who are they going to draft? And usually the Niners were playing into January trying to win Super Bowls. The Warriors were an absolute afterthought to the point where they were not even on the front page of the Chronicle. By the time January rolled around, they were on section C3. They're on page C3 with a little blurb. You know what I'm saying? They stopped sending their beat writers on the road because the season was done. And it transformed that franchise and to tap into all these Warrior fans where now you can't walk anywhere without seeing a Stephen Curry jersey. Can't walk anywhere without seeing a Klay Thompson or Draymond Green jersey or a Kevin Durant jersey. And you think about Chase Center and the floor and where they're value at right now, I would lean towards Joe Lacob, too, because of the 5 straight finals and the 7 straight playoff appearances, as well as the three championships, and attracting Kevin Durant, who may be the greatest free agent signing across all sports.
Yeah, I'm with you. And it's just a tough one because, like, look, as down as Jed has been at times as the face of the organization, they've been to 2 Super Bowls in a decade, right?
Yep.
And yeah, there's been some really lean years, and there's been a lot of mistakes. He's done a lot of good things. As I sit here and I'm going, man, a lot of my Raider buddies, one of them behind the glass and Stephen Langford, saw his team go to another state.
Right.
I'm watching my team build the stadium of their dreams. Yeah, it's a little far away from the city. So what? They're still in this market. And I just went to practice on Saturday and I enjoyed the hell out of it. And I think they've got an ex-quarterback for the next 15 years. But and then I look at what the Giants have done and I'm saying, like, I mean, they've got the best ballpark in all of sports.
Right.
All right. And they've kept all my favorite players around. Yeah, maybe they kept a couple too long.
Long in the tooth,
They've done a great job. And I sit here and I say, man, we've had a great 10 years. Why do I feel like the next 10 is going to be just as good? Now, maybe the Warriors don't go to 5 straight finals, but like, we are looking at an unbelievable opportunity moving forward with a new franchise quarterback at some point, with the Farhan era starting to begin. It's just kind of coinciding with the 10-year anniversary of 957 the game. B, these are the golden days. They really are.
Yeah, we were lucky to come up in sports radio when these things were happening. The first time I ever covered the finals was 2015, and I sat there next to Matt Kolsky when we're at another radio station sitting in section 119 because a Cleveland Plain dealer didn't send their writers out to cover the finals on the road. So we had those seats the entire series. Game 1, Game 2 there with the overtime, Game 5 when Steph Curry lit it up and shut down Dellavedova and all the talk about Dellavedova being a Curry stopper. And we're sitting there like, man, this is awesome. And we were making nothing. No, we still make really nothing. We make peanuts here. But no, seriously.
I would do it for free. Just don't let the bosses know.
Yeah, absolutely. Bonte from the 925. Remember when you couldn't even buy Warriors gear because nobody carried it?
Hey, he ain't lying.
He's not lying at all.
Lying.
He's not. Now you got team stores everywhere when it comes to the Golden State Warriors. Let's get Ben in Florida. He's been on hold for a while.
Let's get it.
Wants to jump back over to football for a second before we get into what Joe Lacob said over the weekend and to sit down with Anthony Slater. Don't want to miss that. We've been teasing it all show long. Ben, what's happening? You're in Florida. You're on the roast. What's happening, Ben?
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. I came on to talk about Trey Lance. I gotta give you guys a little pushback for one thing you just said, though. You said Kevin Durant is the greatest free agency signing in sports. I'm a Florida guy. I'm sorry, my Miami Heat signed LeBron James way back when. I got to give you a little pushback for that one.
They won the same amount of titles.
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, you attracted LeBron James and he teamed up with his best friend Dwayne Wade. But the Warriors being where they were at because, Ben, the Heat had been good. They had always attracted free agents. Alonzo Mourning, Jamal Masburn. They were always in the mix.
Glenn Rice.
The Warriors attracting Kevin Durant onto a team that had just won 73 games, that was massive.
Okay, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. But I did come on here to talk about Trey Lance.
Oh, yeah.
I brought up my tweet earlier. I was the one who brought up the whole thing about, if you look since 2011, selected in the top 3. Right now, it would really be just unprecedented for the Niners not to play Trey Lance. And if you really think about it with the whole Jimmy Garoppolo situation, I think the downside of potentially playing Jimmy Garoppolo is too risky to not play Trey Lance, because if Jimmy gets in, he gets hurt, then the 49ers are on the hook for the rest of his money for the entire year, and then they could be on the hook for half of his money for the year after if he plays it the right way. So if the 49ers go into week 1 with Trey Lance not being the starter, I think they're making a mistake.
Hey, let me tell you this right now.
Way to light fire on gasoline.
Hey, I just hit Ben on Twitter. I started following him. He's writing for Sports Illustrated. I don't disagree with him. I'm going to be real. I think he's on to something here. I think it would be a massive mistake. Look, B, you watched what I watched with this kid. The reality is the freight train is here. It's not coming. It's here. And I know everyone wants to, it's patience. There's levels to this. There's processes.
There's no more patience.
This kid is so far along, it's unreal. He is not 20-year-old Alex Smith.
No, there's no more patience when it comes to pro sports. The windows are not open that long. They're just not. And when you have a George Kittle, a Nick Bosa,
Fred,
D Ford's trying to get back. He told us, "I'm trying to get right.
Hey,
I'm trying to get
did you
right."
See that gold chain he was wearing?
Oh, dude, it was so.
He did say he was trying to get right, and I liked that
he
was out on the field working on the side. And I was a little alarmed. I didn't see Jalen Hurd out there.
I didn't see Jalen Hurd at all, and we saw Jordan Matthews playing tight end. So look,
false starting.
Look. He made the throw. Trey Lance made a throw to Brandon Ayuk where he caught it and just had nothing but green grass in front of him. I turned around to you and said, let's go home. I've seen enough.
I wasn't ready to go home. I was like the kid at Disneyland.
Right.
I was like, nah, Dad, can we go to 10 more rides?
You remember the Bo Jackson 30 for 30 on ESPN where there was a scout who watched Bo Jackson? It was a scout from the Yankees. And he went down to go see Bo Jackson. He had 3 swings in the cage. And Scott from the Yankees went home. And he said, I've seen enough. I'm done. And he told Charlie Brenner that this kid, we got to sign him. That's how I felt with Trey Lance. He made the throw to Ayuk, and I looked at Krzyzewski and said, you know what? We could just go to In-N-Out.
I know.
Stop by, get some In-N-Out, and just go home and think about what we just saw. Try to comprehend the throws that he made Saturday. Not only just the throws and the completions, but the incompletions. He threw a bomb when he rolled out to the right. And there was defenders in front of us. There was Greg Poplar in front of us, you and I, and we look at Trey Lance. He rolls out to the right. He slows down, and lets it fly. And that ball was in the air forever, and it was a perfect spiral, and everybody ran on the field. We weren't even supposed to be on the field.
It was unbelievable.
We ran on the field to see where the ball landed. Now, it went out of bounds, but it was like, wow.
Yes.
It was like he was with this incompletions where Jimmy, I get it, he's a veteran. He knows the playbook, but he just did not look good. You're holding onto the ball in practice. There's no pads on. Let it rip.
The analogy is when you know, and you just know immediately. And again, I use the layup line as an example. Like, B, you just see in the layup line, you're like, oh, that's a Division I player.
Right.
Like, I remember watching Aaron Gordon warm up for Mitty, and I was like, this dude's going to the NBA. Like, there's no question in my mind he's going to the NBA. When I saw Tim Lincecum the very first time on a diamond, you read about him and you hear about him, and this is the early stages of the internet. And I'm like, watched him pitch one time. I'm like, oh, there's a reason Bonds is calling him the franchise. When I watched the reaction from that defensive line that was standing feet away from us, watching him play, and they were like, oh, my God, and their eyes were lighting up, told me everything I need to know.
No doubt. Dude, our roasters on Twitch and YouTube right now are on fire right now, commenting about everything.
The audience is lit.
Miley Tin Weber Curse, he's always on. He or she, I forget, but always on Twitch. Always on Twitch, been with us from day one here on the roast. Jimmy has the locker room. You know what? I don't know if he has the locker room.
I don't know about that.
Because I saw the reactions to when Trey Lance made plays happen, and I saw the reactions to when Jimmy made plays happen or plays that didn't happen. Jimmy was off to the side where Trey Lance was in the mix.
So one of the things that I think people have forgotten over time, Michael Crabtree never really believed in Alex Smith.
Never.
And
remember the quote at the NFC Championship game against the New York Giants when he said, you know what? Sometimes you just need a quarterback to try to make a play, to give you a chance to make a play. And he got, one catch for 3 yards in that game.
Yeah.
And he said, just give me an opportunity. Throw one up. And when Kaepernick got inserted into the lineup, he gave his wide receivers a chance to make a play when Crabtree exploded for a 1,000-yard season.
And look, people can say, oh, it's guys in shorts. It's guys in shorts. I'm watching guys in shorts get frustrated with Jimmy Garoppolo for not letting it rip. I'm watching guys that want to get paid, Deebo Samuel, someone who wants to showcase his game, and Brandon Ayuk, and they just look frustrated. Everybody was looking frustrated. And you just cannot tell me that Kyle is going to stand up in that locker room, look all these guys in the eye, and say, hey, Alex Mack, and Trent Williams, and George Kittle, I know you're in the middle of your prime and you want to win a Super Bowl. Hey, Fred Warner. And I know the game is extremely violent, but we're going to waste our time here with Jimmy because he gives us the best chance to win week 1. He will be lying to his own players. And that's just where I'm going to stand with it.
Right. No, there's no doubt about that. Jimmy, if you don't think this is an open competition, again, I told somebody on Twitter, you must believe in Santa Claus. This competition
Easter
is
Bunny,
wide.
do you know E40?
This competition is wide open. Let's go to Duriel down in San Jose. Oh, Duriel. I know he's got the timeless coffee rolling here on the roast. What's up, Duriel?
Hey, I enjoy listening to you guys, and I love what you're doing. And, it's like therapy and everything. So keep it up and all that.
Thank you.
Energy. But, the topic today is Jimmy G and everything. And, he's got the $1 billion face and everything. And, everybody all the guys want to be like him. All the girls want to be with him and everything, man. And, all he has to do is stick to the script here. This is why people don't want to come play for the 49ers and the Warriors, because look how we treat our guys. He had one bad year after getting to the Super Bowl. He fell short and everything. Nobody was watching the Super Bowl closer than Jimmy G was. He was watching his sensei, Tom Breezy, show him how to get it done and everything. He gave him the blueprint. So Jimmy G is going to be ready. These are practices. We're talking about practice here.
Hey, Duriel.
He's talking about
Hey, Duriel. Jimmy G has the $1 billion face. Trey Lance has the $1 billion arm, and that's the difference.
Okay, but you're talking about incomplete passes right now, and Michael Crabtree probably tore his Achilles trying to catch one of those wild incomplete passes from Colin Kaepernick, who sucked.
Hey, Duriel.
And I had to talk
Duriel. Crabtree also had his best season with Colin Kaepernick and not Alex Smith. Alex Smith went through a season not throwing a touchdown pass to a wide receiver. I've never seen that in pro football. He went through a season without throwing one touchdown pass to a wide receiver. Alex Smith is a nice guy. But come on, man. Kaepernick made this offense go. He made this. David Akers broke the field goal record with Alex Smith playing quarterback.
I understand people being skeptical. Believe me, I do.
Right.
I understand being skeptical. And actually, it's probably the most fair point of view this morning. Like, dude, you guys, what are you talking about? I'm just going to let everyone know right now. I can't wait to share this experience with you. I'm being 100% real because once everyone sees it, you can't unsee it, like as they say, you know. And I'm so excited and optimistic this morning. And this isn't fake. This isn't me drumming up something. I am telling you my honest, sincere evaluation of what I witnessed with my eyes. I cannot unsee it. And I'm not hyping up Nate Sudfeld. I'm not here telling you that Tim Rattay is the truth. I'm not here telling you that Ken Dorsey has a golden arm. I'm telling you the number 3 pick, who they traded heaven and earth to go get, might be the greatest pick that they've ever selected as an organization.
Dude, I'm all for patience. I'm all for I want Jimmy G. In an ideal world, I want Jimmy G to play because he may give the team a better chance to win the Super Bowl and let Trey Lance learn. But what Peter King said in the Monday Morning Quarterback, Trey Lance has logged in the most on the iPad and spent more time on the iPad looking at the game plan and the playbook. And then when I look at him in the offense, running the offense, bootlegs, RPOs, he makes things happen. Now, I know it's only day 4 of training camp, but we were down there at practice. And everybody who was down there at practice, every single beat writer, go read Mayoko this morning. Go read Eric Branch from the Chronicle.
Well, why don't you just
go read Cam Inman from the Mercury News? They all saying the same thing that we're saying. Trey looked dominant. And if you don't think there's an open competition, you're lying to yourself. Go ahead,
If you don't believe me, believe Adam Schefter on ESPN.
Up until today, Jimmy Garoppolo has been a standout performer. Today, threw a pick 6 to Fred Warner, threw another interception. And guess who lit it up with some deep passes?
Oh, boy.
Trey Lance. So, look, for everybody who's paying attention, and everybody will all summer long, this is the type of jockeying that will occur. Make no mistake, Jimmy Garoppolo is the starter. But the more days we get like today, the more people will discuss whether Trey Lance is going to be taking over as the starting quarterback. And look, when you take a quarterback number 3, you trade up to get him, this is the conversation that comes along with the veteran quarterback like Jimmy Garoppolo, no matter how good he's looked. And I was told yesterday he's looked as good as he's looked ever playing football in training camp. But today, not as good. Trey Lance, really good. And now we'll continue to chart this and monitor it as the summer progresses.
You think Schefter's just like coming up with stuff? Like,
I mean, come on.
Schefter got sources everywhere, and he was giddy.
Giddy. You don't think he watched our video, Shasky, on Saturday afternoon? Said,
I don't know about
what are
that.
these two knuckleheads listening? What are these two knuckleheads talking about? We walked directly off the practice field, fired up the video, and gave you the intel that we just saw right away. And 30 minutes later, every beat writer out there Saturday, their headline, boy, did Trey Lance look good.
He is undeniable. Like, I don't know what else to say to people. But I understand. Look, but the other part of this is I do understand being skeptical.
Yep,
like,
no doubt.
I was skeptical. And then, like, once you see it, again, this is why I can't wait to share it with everyone. 2 weeks can't get here any sooner.
It was just the quarterback drills. The basic quarterback
we sound
drills.
Insane, by the way.
The quarterback drills. Jimmy G's rolling out. He's throwing. Okay, solid pass, a little wobbly. Trey Lance rolls out, and it just zips it. And you can tell the hands of Kyle Juszczyk, the hands of the coach who's catching those passes. They're like shaking their hand like, damn, this ball's coming in hot. Let's go to Igor in San Francisco. Igor, you're on the roast, man. What's up?
Hey, man. Y'all souping the Kool-Aid. You said you was you just said you was roasting. You was smoking on something. You smoking on some good treat. 'Cause I'm roasting on some cookies.
Hey, film on Mike. This ain't Igor. This is film on Mike. And film on Mike, do I ever lie to you? Does Shasky ever lie to you? Well, I know we're talking about practice, but come on, hey, Filmo. What we saw Saturday was next level.
Y'all keep it real, but I seen Blaine Gabbert in training camp look good.
Nobody bought that one, though. Nobody was buying that one. It was Blaine Gabbert. This man, hey, Filmo. This guy was a turbocharged Donovan McNabb with a little Mahomes in him. The ball he threw, just a basic out route. I don't see Jimmy G. He kind of lofts it out there. This guy zinged it to Ross Dwelly. And Ross Dwelly turned upfield and looked better than ever. What we saw Saturday, I'm telling you, Filmo, August 14th against Kansas City, just brace yourself.
Hey, man.
All I know is whatever y'all smoking or roasting on, I need some.
You're going to get some.
I
That
love
timeless
that guy.
coffee.
I love him. I knew there was. I was going to say there's no way there's an Igor who sounds like that.
Has there ever been a black guy named Igor? 888-957-9570.
I'm glad you said it.
Has there ever been a black guy named Igor?
But I'm gonna be honest though, man. I'm being real here. Like, again, when you watch something for the first time and it blows you away, and I had very low expectations, and I was astonished at the polish that I saw.
There were people out there who covered the game for 30 years saying Trey area and saying wow. They were saying wow. Who is this guy?
Hey, how about Shanahan's reactions to Jimmy and his reactions to Trey Lance in between plays?
It's night and day.
Did it not speak volumes?
It's night and day.
Body language to me is something I pick up on the sidelines.
By the way, Anthony Slater is going to join us coming up here on the Morning Roast, and it's brought to you by Stanford Healthcare. We're going to get into his Q&A with Joe Lacob, and we're going to ramp it up here. Free agency starts at 3 p.m. The legal tampering period starts at 3 p.m. What is up, Warrior fans? Who do you want? Who's on your wish list? Is it Nicholas Batum? Do you want Andre Iguodala back? 888-957-9570. It's your time now, Warrior fans. I want to hear from you after Anthony Slater coming up here on the Roast on 95.7 The Game.
For the 7th year in a row, Stanford Hospital has been ranked as one of the nation's best by U.S. News & World Report. Thank you to our staff and community for your exceptional response in an extraordinary year.
Switching and saving with your local Geico agent sure is easy. As easy as tricking a dog by pretending to throw a tennis ball but then hiding it. Yes, he knows this trick. Every dog does. But when he sees that ball, it's so exciting. His tail wags, his mouth waters. And so he runs to chase the ball you did not throw. So yeah, Geico. Contact your local.
He's always coming at me. Game in Oakland's always coming at me.
Play that one more time.
All right, now put your seatbelt on because I'm about to get on your head.
God.
Dude, he comes at me hard.
10 years as a station, 957 the game. Dame is the one I'm probably the most scared of.
Oh, dude, Dame.
There's a red dot on my head at all times. Juice is up there.
Dame. Dre and Lamar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
Dre and Lamar is stacked.
Dre
and Lamar. Light.
He is jacked out of his mind.
The dude is wearing wife beaters.
Hey, I love him,
in
though.
50-degree weather. Let me say tank tops. I don't want to say wife beaters.
He got you and me in a headlock up at the Hilton and had us both down, and he was just trying to be nice. He was so chiseled out of granite. I was like, damn, I just melted into his body.
Dude, I was all in his armpit. Like, remember the Nasty Boys, the tag team partners? I felt like I was getting headlocked by the Nasty Boys or something. Man, we got some great listeners, some great callers. 10-year anniversary here at 95.7 The Game. And one of our better guests here over the last 10 years is a guy who's one of the best beat writers in the country. Seriously, I'm just throwing out compliments today. Anthony Slater does the damn thing, and he had his Q&A with Joe Lacob. We've had Anthony Slater on like 3 times in the last 4 shows because he just keeps producing high-quality content. Anthony, good morning here on a Monday. That's the only compliment I'm giving you. I'm not giving you another compliment for another month because you are doing some great work here. And you sat down with the owner of the Warriors, Joe Lacob, as free agency begins, or the legal tampering period begins at 3 p.m. today. Man, when you sit back and look at this Q&A, what is your biggest takeaway from what Joe Lacob had to say to you?
First of all, you're feeling good this morning.
Dude, I saw Trey Lance on Saturday, Anthony. Trey Lance looked good.
I saw you guys just absolutely hype video leaving practice 4, whatever. I have to update my fantasy football list after hearing that.
Dude, he looks like he's going to run 4,000, throw for 3,000, 10 rushing touchdowns.
Anthony, when he wins Rookie of the Year, don't say I didn't tell you so.
You definitely told me. So as far as the Lacob interview, I think he's being honest. I think some people out there are trying to kind of read it as like maybe he's trying to create leverage in the trade market, and if he says this, then the league will back off some of the crazy offers, and maybe he'll get better offers for these stars. I don't read it that way. This is a guy I just think is trying to explain his vision to the fan base, and I know there's plenty of fans that might disagree with it, and I myself might have some critiques. But this is how he sees it going forward, and I thought he was pretty transparently laying out Joe Lacob cares about 2026 and Chase Center, 2027 and Chase Center. Maybe the fans are a little bit more urgent on the next couple seasons, but Joe Lacob is thinking with a much longer view in mind.
Yeah, and so you referenced some of the positives. If you were to create an argument, I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but if you were to kind of highlight some of the negatives, what would those be?
Oh, I mean, it's just like, are you doing everything you can to try to win with your generational player, best player in your franchise history over the next 2 seasons? Are you willing to trade, 2 rookies who potentially might become mega stars in 2025, 2026 to get, good, better role players right now, guys that will help you win a title next season? Clearly, Joe Lacob's saying no. Essentially with the Lakers quote he had late in it is saying like he doesn't want to go give the next 8 years up for the next 2 seasons.
Right.
And that's his opinion on it. It kind of lands, I guess, a little bit controversially, but I truly believe he's just being honest.
Anthony Slater here on the Morning Roast with Joe Shasky, the Butcher, and Bonte Hill, our 95.7 The Game insider, sat down with Joe Lacob on draft night when the Warriors selected Jonathan Kuminga 7 overall. Moses Moody, number 14 overall.
Moody Moses.
Hey, Kendrick Perkins right here.
Don't be perked over there.
Hey, don't be perked, dude. When I heard Perk do that, Anthony, I was on TV that night doing a draft review show saying, it's Moses Moody. It's Moses Moody. It's Moses Moody. It is tough to get Perk out of my head right now, but he makes these 2 selections, and it feels like, I'm not going to say all the fans because we took a lot of calls Friday. A lot of fans were happy with the picks, but there is a segment of the fan base that wanted them to see more. What could the Warriors have done to possibly satisfy that segment of the fan base?
Well, trade-wise that night, Bradley Beal wasn't available. Bradley Beal's not available. Damian Lillard is not available. Ben Simmons is quite available, but would you like to give up every asset plus Wiggins, Wiseman, all of it? No, probably not. So, I think there are mid-tier trades that maybe some of the fan base would be excited if they explored. Maybe we're like proactive about like trying to go get Miles Turner, and if that means giving up one of your, young lottery picks, go ahead and do it. But no, I mean, I think if you just look at it from a pure draft value perspective, I mean, I believe I was on your show the day after. I mean, it was like a good draft from that. Right. Like if you were using 7 and you were using 14, I think they used them properly. The question is, should they have just gone out, hey, Boston, do you want 14 for Marcus Smart, some type of deal? Like I said, Indianapolis, like, Wiggins, 7 and 14 for Miles Turner and TJ Warren, that type of stuff. And that just doesn't seem to be in their plan.
Are you surprised with how involved Joe Lacob is during the draft process?
Not really. I mean, if you've known him over the years, and Bonta, you've had conversations with him. But I mean, this is his. I mean, it's all his time of year, but he really likes the draft. He really watches college, all that, and I mean, he scouts it up. And no, I'm not, because, and I wrote it in the thing, they're not really hiding it, right? I mean, their official accounts tweeting out videos where he's like, at the head of the war room, like fist pumping the Kuminga pick, and he's pretty obviously like in all these draft meetings and everything. They're coming out and saying, hey, when we went with Kuminga, like Joe Lacob was there. Kuminga's coming out saying, yeah, I had dinner with Joe Lacob. Like he is involved, and that's not hidden.
What do you think Clay, Steph, and Draymond think of Joe Lacob?
I think that the brash style at times potentially might rub them the wrong way. I mean, there's definitely a quote in there that, depending on how you read it, could have landed differently. But at the same time, one thing that, and I do think Joe Lacob has this argument over a lot of owners in the league, like he has spent over the years. He maxed Steph out. He maxed Clay out after an ACL injury. He gave Draymond $100 million a few summers ago, and he spent on the Oubre. He spent on Durant over the years. Like, this guy's paying historic tax money, so that's the most important. Like, do you want your owner to check every box and maybe not say some of the stuff he does publicly or privately? Yeah, you probably would want that, but he does the most important thing, which is he spends.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, and he's transformed the organization on a business side, and they just haven't really had an opportunity to get some of that fruit off that tree that is Chase Center like they want. When I look at this offseason, it feels like the majority of the fan base unrest is wrapped around Wiseman and Wiggins. What's the sense you have right now? Is it Wiseman and Wiggins are here for the entire year, or let's see how things progress this offseason and let's see what ends up happening at the beginning part of the season?
I'd be stunned if James Wiseman is traded. That doesn't seem to be the vibe I'm getting emanating, let's say, from people up top, including Joe Lacob. I mean, I just don't think they're going to trade James Wiseman. I think he's part of their vision for the future. What did he say? The bridge to the gap to the future or something like that. That's him, and that's now Kuminga. The 7th pick was an obscure thing we were saying last week. Now it has a name. Jonathan Kuminga is now on the roster, right. And we're going to watch him, Tuesday night, tomorrow night, which would be cool to kind of get the first look at him. But I think they're kind of – I mean, Kuminga maybe a little bit more available in certain trade offers. And, look, if a megastar becomes available, they have to sit down and have conversations on how far they're willing to go. But I think Wiseman's here. Wiggins is a little bit more flexible because he is the fourth of these guys that if maybe a team wanted to do something like here's 2 rotation pieces for Wiggins. Like I think it was Zach Lowe throughout the idea of like Harrison Barnes and I think DeLon Wright for Wiggins. Like, do you want to maybe create a little bit more depth by using Wiggins' salary slot and flexibility? That's a bit more possible to me than Wiseman and Kuminga at this point. To me, seem like the vision of 2024 through 2030 for the Warriors.
I will say I'm excited to see Wiseman, Kuminga, Moody, Poole, and JTA with that second unit. You never know what you're going to get with that. It's with the exception of a lot of athleticism. That could be a lot of fun here. By the way, RMQ on YouTube saying that the best free agent signing since Kevin Durant has been Anthony Slater coming over from OKC. So you're getting a lot of love on our YouTube page, man. Everybody's giving you love, Anthony. Speaking of love, who's going to give the Warriors love in free agency? What are some of the targets out there? Are we going to see a return of Andre Iguodala? Are we going to see Nicholas Batum? What are you hearing when it comes to free agency?
What a Monday morning, by the way. Shout out to the YouTube commenter. Yeah, I think the Iguodala stuff clearly is starting to gain momentum. I mean, Mark Stein is very connected. Even reported that yesterday. Batum is the guy I'm hearing. I mean, top target was last season. They were very close on Nick Batum when he got bought out from Charlotte last year, and we're basically told if Clay hadn't gotten injured, he probably would have picked him over the Clippers. He went to the Clippers for competitive reasons, and it worked. He kind of, it was a resurgent season for him. I think he was playing about 25 minutes a game, took him to the conference, or didn't take him to the conference finals, but was a component of that. And he just fits, and I know that he knows this too, he fits the Warriors style. I mean, he's such a Steve Kerr player, and that was one of the issues as we watched last year's team, right? They brought in talent. They had Kelly Oubre out there, but it was like, Steve Kerr's trying to play one way, and these players don't really fit that way. And that was a criticism of Steve for maybe not adjusting. But if you get a Batum in here, like that perfectly meshes system and player. Now, he played so well last season, he's going to probably very likely be much worth more than the minimum. Would they give the full taxpayer MLE? I think he's the type of player they would do that for, even though it comes with big tax penalties. But there are teams out there, the Pacers, the Heat, who are reportedly interested in him that have full, MLE, which is up to about $9-10 million. So that to me is like the big negotiation early in free agency. There are others. I do think they need a guard that can do a little bit, and they need a veteran big in there. And we can go over some of those names if you want.
Well, yeah, let's go over some of those names. But first, what about Kelly Oubre? Does he have any market? Is there any possibility for this guy to work a three-way sign-in trade? It feels very unlikely.
Yeah, the Warriors hope he has a market, because if he has a market, if he goes to a cap space team and let's say Spurs, Knicks, whatever, give him $15 million a year, the Warriors should be able to maneuver behind the scenes, maybe give up a future second rounder and sign and trade him into a trade exception, which keeps that salary slot alive, right? This was Andre Iguodala, which became the Andre Iguodala trade exception, which became Oubre. You want that to become the Kelly Oubre trade exception instead of just nothing. If he walks away, signs, it's gone. That salary flexibility is gone. I don't see him coming back to the Warriors. They basically would tell him, if you come back on a complete bargain and you play backup 4, essentially. That's clearly not where he sees his career headed. So I don't know necessarily what his market is out there, because he spent the last month really kind of trying to put himself out there, and
a lot of podcasts.
A lot of podcasts. Like that, to be honest, that to me signals a guy who's hearing that what he's hearing he's not liking. He's trying to convince the market, no. Come get me. I'm ready to be your core piece. And it seems to me like the league might not believe it as much.
Yeah, the universe tried to put him in a box, according to him on the Who's High podcast. Kelly Oubre Jr. If you had let me ask you this: with the young assets that they brought in, Moody and Kuminga, and about James Wiseman coming back for a second season, and you still have Steph, and they're expecting Clay to be Clay, and Draymond Green and Wiggins. Can this team, with the right veteran, whether it's Batum, Iguodala, can they contend out west? Can they be a top 4 team in the Western Conference with the roster as is, if adding a Batum and Iguodala?
I mean, a lot of stuff has to break correctly for them. First of all, I think Batum would be just a great fit. I mean, he's a closing 5 type guy. I mean, he's closing games in the playoffs for the Clippers, against the type of teams that they'll play next season. So, I mean, that would be a huge boost. I think Warriors fans probably don't know that how much Iguodala seems to kind of have fallen off the last couple of seasons. I mean, he just wasn't that productive at all for the Heat last year. I think he's a good guy to have in the locker room if he's willing to come back on the cheap and mentor Kuminga, mentor Moody. So I'd bring him back, but I don't know how much that helps him on the court. In general, though, if we look at the West, I think we talked about this last time I was on. I'm down on the conference as a whole. I think the Lakers are taking I think the Lakers are taking somewhat of a step back, and you've got to wonder about injury concerns with them, too, considering what happened last season. Kawhi's knee, that's part of the reason that Nick and Sue might come, is because the Clippers situation is very unsettled. Our guy, Law Murray, at The Athletic, reported he's kind of expecting it to probably be more towards like a 9-month recovery, and Kawhi might miss all of next season. I mean, we'll see on that. And the other thing, he's a free agent, and Chris Haynes is saying he's going to actually listen to other teams. I mean, it sounds like he's probably going back to the Clippers, but that's unsettled. And those are supposed to be the 2 giants of the conference. Phoenix will be in the mix, but if Clay comes back and he's
what are we going to say, 80% of himself by March if Wiseman gives more, right? If he just can be kind of a rim-running center in a simplified role and just give him a little bit more size and just looks better in year 2. If Poole emerges more, which I do expect, I was really impressed with Poole late in the season, why can't they, be right in the mix in a conference that I don't think has a clear favorite?
You're preaching to the choir. On the Kawhi thing, would it really make sense for them? Because we know the injury, and you're talking about, 8-9 month timetable. I mean, would it make sense for them to kind of not punt on year 1, but like, hey, we're in on Kawhi because we think year 2 or at the end of year 1, he can help them? That one, because before the injury, it's a no-brainer. Right. Duh, of course you want in on Kawhi Leonard. But, man, that injury, what do you think they assess when it comes to Kawhi?
You talking about the Clippers or?
I'm talking about the Warriors.
Trying to get Kawhi?
Yes. Just hypothetically.
They would have needed him to opt in and force a trade.
Yeah.
At this point, he opted out. He's a free agent. You can't get that done because they can't sign and trade anyone in because you're hard capped. So if he had opted in, it's kind of, remember Chris Paul when he was on the Clippers a few years ago? At this point, it was 5. And he opted in, and people were like, why did he opt in? And then a day later, it was he opted in because that was the only way he could get traded to the Rockets.
Gotcha.
And he had worked behind the scenes. So that dream has sailed at this point now that he's opted out.
All right, should be a lot of fun over the next few days here with NBA free agency. Legal tampering period starts at 3 p.m. That's Anthony Slater sat down with Joe Lacob in a very riveting Q&A where Joe Lacob says, hey, look, if we don't win, it's on me, it's on Bob, it's on Steve, it's on Steph, it's on Draymond, it's on Clay. A lot of people threw their arms up and ripped Joe Lacob for it, but I thought it was great stuff. It was really great stuff. I love an owner who's truthful. Anthony, thank you as always. We'll try to give you a break here, maybe have you on Friday instead of Wednesday or something.
Hey, if there's a big sign in between, then we'll see.
We'll have you on speed dial.
We'll be up at the California Classic on Wednesday.
Right. Yeah,
we're going to go up
Anthony?
there. Yeah.
You going up there?
I'll be up there. I'm going to be up there both days. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
We will definitely send you a text. We will link up and have a beverage or two.
I owe you one. I lost a bet, so I'm going to have to pay up.
Factual.
Yeah. All right. I'm like a Lannister. I always repay my debts.
He's lying. He still owes me a prime rib dinner, Anthony. We'll see you up in Sacramento, man. We'll see you up in Sacramento.
All right, guys.
See you,
Anthony
buddy.
Slater, and you are listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ, FM HD1 San Francisco, and Odyssey Station. Download the Odyssey app and listen back to our interview with Anthony Slater, our 95.7 The Game insider, or Dave Fleming, the voice of the Giants, and our Giants insider here at 95.7 The Game. And it's all brought to you by our good friends, not good friends, great friends at Timeless Coffee. Look, we talked a lot of Trey Lance. We talked a lot of Chris Bryant to the Giants. Let's focus on the Warriors for a second.
Real quick before you do that, just some NFL breaking news.
Yeah.
Give me the breaking news sounder, please. Or not.
And it's
95.7 The Game breaking news. Brought to you by BetQL. Become a better sports bettor. Get smarter to beat the books. Download the BetQL app or visit BetQL.com today.
Various reports coming out of Indianapolis. We're looking at the television right now. Carson Wentz, broken foot, surgery, out 5 to 12 weeks.
Wow.
5 to 12 weeks. Wow. Carson Wentz is out. 49ers, obviously, there were talks on this station that the Niners should look into him before they made a move to go get Trey Lance or the draft picks that would secure them Trey Lance. That's big. And that opens up another team that traded capital for a quarterback, but might still need a quarterback.
It's funny you say that because a minute ago, our good friend from Pro Football Talk, Mike Florio.
Oh, yeah?
Remember that guy?
Your buddy.
Remember that guy? Where Mike Florio? I said what I said. He just tweeted out, Jimmy Garoppolo to the Colts, who's with me?
I said what I said.
Mike Florio.
So Florio's saying that already. Not me.
I mean, look, the Colts, Washington, Miami, Houston, there is a market for Jimmy Garoppolo. And I'll say this right now. I'll say it with my chest. I'm not afraid of it. I will die on this hill. When Trey Lance takes the job here in San Francisco by week 3 of the preseason, Jimmy, third-round pick, second-round pick, somebody's going to need a starting quarterback. I don't know if Jimmy's a starting quarterback on this football team. The best quarterback in Santa Clara right now is Trey Lance. The Colts may need a quarterback. Are they really going to roll out with Jacob Eason?
No. And they're talking about signing Nick Foles. Jimmy's better than Foles, right?
Oh, man. Nick
Right?
Foles, well, he's familiar with Frank Wright
I
from
know, but
Philadelphia.
Who would you rather have right now, Foles or Jimmy?
Jimmy.
Yeah, me too, right?
I would rather have Jimmy.
I mean,
I would think it makes you think a little bit, Langford. But I'd rather have Jimmy.
But I'm going to be real, and I agree with you on this. If you can get anything back for Jimmy Garoppolo at this point, I think you have to do it.
It's a win. It's a win because I'm afraid he gets out there in the preseason and looks subpar, and the value just goes down the drain. Now, Anthony Slater just waxed poetic on the Go to State Warriors here. The Q&A with Joe Lacob. What was your big takeaway from the Q&A with Joe Lacob?
Well, my big thing is that, you know what? You can't please anyone. That's the thing that I've realized. Like, the disease of more, we always talk about the players and the organization and the staff and the disease of more. What about the fan base, the disease of more? Like, nothing ever satisfies this Warrior fan base. And it's a good thing. It's a good problem to have because that means you're excellent. And that means that you have created a standard that is almost impossible to mathematically repeat over and over and over and over again. The other part of this is that the way I look at it, people have pivoted from we have to trade for a star to now, after seeing what has happened and seeing who's available, they're like, no. Let's pivot and let's trade Wiggins for 2 pieces. Let's trade Wiggins for 3 pieces. And that goes back to, man, like, people just want to rip this guy for anything. Look, he's not perfect, Joe Lacob. But, man, in terms of going for it and being arrogant and putting his money where his mouth is, this is exactly what you brought up, and I agree. It's Eddie DeBartolo all over again.
I mean,
and he's not perfect.
No,
I'm not saying he's perfect.
Eddie D wasn't
perfect. But, man, if your owner's going to be like one way, at least be this way.
Look, we grew up watching Eddie D. He wanted to win. He broke TVs. He went crazy. He fired Bill Walsh like 37 times, right? Stripped him of Gia. Eddie D was nuts, but he wanted to win. And why wouldn't you want an owner like that? Like, everybody ripped George Steinbrenner, and I get it. But George Steinbrenner wanted to win.
Yeah.
He said money wasn't an issue. As a fan, I love an owner who's not cheap.
Mm-hmm.
I love an owner who's not frugal, is going to say, oh, I'm a penny pinch, and we're going to do things this way. John Fisher, you think A's fans like John Fisher? Look at that situation. Not to pick on the Oakland A's. Who would you rather have? John Fisher or Joe Lacob?
Of course.
This guy's gone into the tax to make this team competitive and a championship contender. And people had the audacity to complain about this Q&A. Oh, Joe Lacob, Steph Curry should look elsewhere. Steph Curry should do this. Why wouldn't you want an owner who's out there saying, look, we want to contend for championships. We also want to bridge the gap. We get this as a business, but we think we got the best of both worlds. We have the future right here with Moody, Kuminga, and Wiseman, and Jordan Poole. And we have our stars who are in their 30s in Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Draymond Green. We add a veteran, and we're right back in the mix. Well, how can you criticize Joe Lacob after just speaking his mind? Don't you want an owner like this?
Of course, but this goes back to people are unpleasable. Like, it legitimately, to me, people are unreasonable, and this is the part where I struggle with. This guy opens his mouth, and no matter what he says, people are losing their minds. They are looking for things to get triggered over.
Crazy.
Right?
Going crazy. Saturday morning, it was going crazy.
The article was out 5 minutes, and people were, like, highlighting things and, like, losing their minds. And I'm saying to myself, like, this, and I feel now, I was guilty of doing this to Jed York, where it was like, anything that this person does and anything they says, I'm just going to rip them to the high heavens. Dude, Joe Lacob has made the most out of the least at everything. Yes, he inherited Steph Curry.
Right.
Okay? Does he get any credit for anything along the way?
Apparently
Jerry
not.
West and Steph Curry, by the way, I don't know if you know this, Bonte.
Right.
They get all the credit, and no one else deserves any credit in the organization whatsoever for a certain part of the fan base. And I just think it's unreasonable at some point, and I'm kind of fatigued over it.
Right.
And I start to realize that, like, I appreciate Joe Lacob, and if people aren't the jackals, the hyenas, if they're not going to appreciate him, well, that's their loss.
Right. You want Chris Cohen?
Yeah, no.
You want to go back to those days?
No.
Seriously?
No.
You want to go back to Cohen? By the way, Curly just sent us this tweet. Curly's back. He's been to Tahoe 3 times in like 5 weeks.
Unbelievable.
Really, the guy's got big coin.
Yeah, he
He's
does.
making more money than us
No,
as a
not
producer.
Bitcoin. Big coin.
Big coin. Big bags. John Curly. Kendrick Bourne. This is according to Chris Mason out there in New England. Kendrick Bourne on Patriots training camp versus the 49ers.
Uh-oh.
It's definitely harder. We work harder here. That's Kendrick Bourne. Remember last year, Claypool was saying that they hit too much in 49ers practice? Now Bourne is saying we work harder in New England. All right.
How many rap videos he put out this year?
Here's what's coming up on the game, brought to you by MB Jesse Painting. Antonio in Oakland, Stan Holt. We're going to get you on the other side.
Happy 10-year anniversary, 957 the game.
Warrior targets. Who do you want to see the Warriors sign in free agency when the legal tampering period starts at 3 p.m.? Your thoughts on Trey Lance? Not Kendrick Bourne. Chris Bryant, another KB, made his debut with the Giants.
Totally different player.
Wrong KB right there. MB Jesse Painting, is your business, high-rise, or HOA in need of quality painting now that teams are returning to offices? MB Jesse Painting offers the most trusted painting services in the Bay Area, completing projects on time. Get a free quote today from the Bay Area's painting experts at mbjesse.com.
Hello, California. Switching to Geico is a good idea, especially when you consider it.
in his first game as a Giant has hit a home run for the Giants' first run of the day. Bryant, the Giant, is what the sign said. 2-1 Houston.
Now, back to the Morning Roast, presented by Timeless Coffee with Kate, Bonte, and Shasky.
I'm looking at nice guy Steven, and he's just jamming to it. He don't even care about the highlight by John Miller on NBC Sports Bay Area. He's just knocking sideways. He's sideways in the studio, knocking to the beat. And I was...
Sorry, there's a little...
I want to hear it.
Of course.
What is this?
It's Talk to Me by Run the Jewels.
Yeah, no, this beat is fire. But I kept thinking about Langford Saturday when the beats were playing in Santa Clara, and I'm like, Langford would love this environment.
No doubt.
He will love. They played a Future song with Lil Yachty.
Yeah, can you look that up right now?
Can you look that
Lil Yachty and Future.
Dude, I look over to my left, and Shasky's like knocking his head.
Oh, yeah.
I'm already shazamming, and I'm just like, this DJ's unbelievable.
I asked him for his play set. I literally walked over there, and I was like, hey, yo, can you send me that playlist? He laughed. I was like, I'm kind of dead serious.
I'm going to slap that on the way down to Santa Clara. Look, 888-957-9570. It's been a fun show. YouTube, we got over 1,000 subscribers over the weekend.
It is going wild.
YouTube is going wild. Our roasters on Twitch, they're holding it down. They're going crazy. It's an open floor. Whatever you want to talk about. Now I'll throw this out there. 888-957-9570. What are you most excited about right now? Is it Trey Lance? Is it Chris Bryant with the Giants as they're in first place taking on the Diamondbacks today? 3 games up on the Dodgers. Or is it NBA free agency to see what the Warriors will do to roll into the 2021-22 season? What are you most excited about right now? 888-957-9570. The Bay's on fire right now, Shasky. It's a great time to be alive in the Bay Area as a sports fan. You got little kids begging their grandmas like we saw Saturday.
Crazy.
I need the Trey Lance jersey. Took the Jimmy G jersey right off. Said, I need a Trey Lance jersey.
Unreal.
Like, it's unreal what's going on in the Bay right now as we thank everybody for 10 years. 10 years of radio here at 95.7 The Game. Been a lot of fun. We expect to go another 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 to 60 years as well.
Well, and I think one of the things that when I think about this station is, I feel like I hope that we represent the community well.
Yeah.
Local people who care about these teams, who are just normal people. We're just normal people who are very blessed and lucky to be able to do what we do and to share it with you guys every single day. And that's why we try to have callers, and that's why we try to have interactions. That's why we're on YouTube. That's why we're on Twitch. We want you guys to come and join the journey with us. You know what I'm saying? Because it's more fun when we got more people in the posse.
And it's more fun when you guys are ripping us for the bucket hats we wore on Saturday.
Oh, my God.
The bucket hats.
Keep it real. Get Steven in here. Steven. Steven, when you saw the video with me and Bonte wearing the various hats that we were wearing, I got a Jungle Cruise tweet. I got, this Miami Vice remix looks horrible. What did you think when you saw that video of the two of us running outside of Levi Stadium wearing those hats?
Did you just come back from the golf course? Did you start out your morning on the golf course and make your way straight to 49ers training camp?
So I'm a white pasty boy. I'm an Irishman from the Excelsior. Anything over 60 degrees and the UV torches me. I turn into char grill. That's what happens. So when I golf, and I'll wear that hat a lot when I golf, my wife hates that hat. Thinks it's the worst hat ever. It's a giant, I
love it.
It's like a giant, I don't even know how to describe it. It's an Adidas hat that I wear all the time on the golf course because I don't want to get sunburned.
I love it.
It's very useful. The only thing that was missing was that sunscreen where it's on the nose.
Lifeguard.
Where it's all on the nose and you can't see it anywhere else. That's the only thing that you were missing there. But hey, there's no sunburn on your neck. No sunburn on your face.
Exactly.
It did its job.
Absolutely. And, I got crushed for that hat. But you know what? That's what it's all about, man. I'm in my element.
So we got tweeted out, Box Kev, Van Dame, and Bruce tweeted out Fear Loathing in Las Vegas. I remember they were in the drop top with Johnny Depp with the glasses and hat. And they're like, there's Bonte right now with the bucket head barely coming down over my fat head with the Ray-Bans on.
I was going to say,
I had the Zinnies on.
You had a size small. I think you needed the schmedium.
Dude, that was the biggest hat they had in the store. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if I wore a Nike one. You know what I'm saying? And we walked out of there, shouted out Debbie. And here you are, 650 Butch and Bonte, Fear and Loathing in Santa Clara. And we shout out Debbie, the security guard. We walk up to Debbie in the morning. I listen to 95.7 The Game all day long. Oh, I love that station. And Debbie was just talking to her. She was giving us a private show before practice. Then we shout out Debbie there after practice, and it was classic. And that bucket hat on you, Shasky, I loved it. You reminded me of Nick Saban there at practice down in Alabama. I'm serious. It was just a lot of fun.
And just to speak of how we are so fogged out from the city, like I said to B, it was like 71 degrees. I go, damn, it's going to be hot in there, isn't it? Right? Like 71, I'm in shorts and a T-shirt. And we walk in, and it got to like 74, and instantly I turned to him, I'm like, my back is sweating. Thank God I wore this hat.
Dude, my black shirt, when I took it off, it was like sticking to my back. I was like, babe, I need a shower right now, man. 888-957.
What are you most excited about?
9570.
Because like right now, look, like I know we're like, look,
I thought about Trey all
we're celebrating 10 years, but like the reality is, and I'm being 100%. This next 10 years for Barry Sports is going to be awesome. It's the twilight of Steph, Clay, and Draymond.
No doubt.
Do they finish the story on a storybook ending? Right?
I don't know.
Right? And then who takes over? Is it just, man, they hit the wall and there's nothing? Then you got the Giants. The Farhan era looks promising.
It looks really good. And he just made his first big splash.
Exactly. And then I look over and I'm like, Trey and Shanahan, football, we got ourselves a next generation quarterback. Like, wow. Pick your poison out here.
And look, 650 coming in, switch it up on your SF Love Fest. I love the trades the A's made. And you know what? I do too. Bring it in, Marte. Bring it in, Josh Harrison, who's had a bounce-back year. Jan Gomes is not a bad catcher.
No.
I like what they brought in Sherfy to closer. The reliever. I like what the Oakland A's did as well. 888-957-9570. Let's go to one of our most loyal callers as well.
Who's that?
He's on IG. He's on Twitter. He's always stunting with a Warriors jersey on or a Niners jersey. It's Antonio in Oakland, and he has a wish list for
caller.
NBA free agency. Antonio, good morning, man. You're on the roast.
Oh, man. Thank you for rolling out the red carpet for me right there, Bontizzle.
Oh, come on, Antonio.
Real,
Hey, man, game recognized game.
Oh, yeah, as far as these Warriors free agents, like if I had to pick, like the two guys, like throw out the salary cap situation and will they take a mid-level, this and that, I'll just go off of Danny Green and Robin Lopez. If we can get those two guys here, somebody who can help Wiseman. Danny Green's a poor man's Clay. We already got Clay.
Antonio.
So if we can do that, oh, man.
Antonio.
Yeah.
Danny Green looks done. He looks shot. And you think Danny Green in a Warriors uniform, you think Warrior fans are ready for that after what happened in the 2019 finals with Danny Green and Klay Thompson, which set Klay Thompson back? We haven't seen him play basketball since.
Yeah, I know, but you got to swallow your ego sometimes. You can't have the pride. Like
I hear you.
J. Cole said, pride is the devil.
He's right.
Hey, Antonio, Danny Green looked shot last year in Philadelphia.
I'll give him a try, though, man.
All right. I hear you.
I'm with you. And, Antonio, on 10 years at 95.7, we wouldn't be a station without people like you. Thank you for supporting and loving us. I mean that, man. Seriously, you are the fabric of what makes this station, and we just thank you.
Oh, man, no problem, man. You guys are great.
Have a good one. Let me back him on Danny Green. Look, is Danny Green going to play 25 minutes a night?
He won't.
No. But Danny Green going to break somebody's arm out there hacking, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and they're going to look for payback on Steph Curry and Draymond Green.
That's
and
true.
I want to stay away from Danny Green. I'm not mad at him. Robin Lopez, big guy as well. 415 saying, I'll help you, Antonio. What about Trey Burke?
I would love
and
that.
Robin Lopez.
Yeah, see, I would love that. A little more pop off the bench with Trey Burke. And look, Robin Lopez is an ideal center to have in this equation. I still would want Marquise Chris and Robin Lopez, because then you have a defensive guy and then you have a more alley-oop offensive minded guy who I think Marquise Chris is the automatic sign for veterans minimum, like right off the rip.
Get him back.
100%.
Please, get him back. Text line going crazy right now. YouTube and Twitch. We'll get to your comments in just a second. Let's go to Rolando in Napa. Rolando, you're on the roast here with Shasky and Bonte. Who are you most excited about? Trey Lance?
Trey?
Is it Trey?
I already told your call screener, I already put money down at the sports books. Right now, I put money that Trey Lance is going to be the MVP at 100 to 1 odds, guys.
Wow.
You guys should go out on that bet too, man. 100 to 1 odds. Trey Lance will be MVP this year.
Wow.
I know it's never been done before in NFL history to a rookie first year to win a Super Bowl. But I'm telling you guys, this might be the year.
Look.
So,
and where did you place this bet? That's what I want to know.
I want to know.
No, I'm serious.
I have friends in Vegas right now, and I made a couple of phone calls, and I'm very up to date on the odds right now. So right now the odds are he's at 100-1 right now, and I already put money down on that. So I'm booking.
Rolando, I know we've been talking. We've been talking crazy today. Trey Lance with an MVP. I may not go there, but I ain't mad at you. I'm not mad at you, Rolando. I like the confidence.
A, B. I want you to be honest with me. All right, just you and me talking right now.
Yep.
Don't you think if they fully unleash him week 1, he's going to be Rookie of the Year? Tell me the truth. I want you to be honest.
I'll go Rookie of the Year. I won't go MVP.
Bonte, don't you? He is going to
won't go
waltz
MVP.
into 1,000 yards rushing.
Dude, he's going to have 10 rushing touchdowns easily because the hitting yards on Saturday, there's nothing there. Let me just break, and there's nothing but green grass in front of him, and he's a big boy. Here's what I worry about with Trey Lance in the open field. I saw him at North Dakota State when he ran the football and he got out the pocket. He tried to truck dudes. He tried, and now he inflicted a lot of pain on the defenders, on the secondary guy, corners, safeties, linebackers. I don't want to see that in the NFL. Trey, just slide or go out of bounds. Need you healthy. I know you're a big boy. You're going to want to truck somebody and set the tone. Just slide a little bit, dog. That's one thing I do get worried about with him running because he runs with force. Let's go to Eric in Oakland. Eric in Oakland, you're on 95.7 The Game. What are you most excited about? Is it the Warriors in free agency? Is it Chris Bryant with the Giants? Or is it Trey Lance, a.k.a. Trey Area?
First of all, I want to say happy anniversary to all the listeners and you guys. 10 years have gone by so fast. I've got a gray beard now, but I'm happy to be listening to you guys every day.
Thank you.
I don't call as much, but I have to be honest with you guys. You guys do a great job, filled with energy. You guys balance each other out like the yin and the yang. It's awesome to hear you guys with energy in the morning.
Thank you.
Now, on their real topic, man, I'm most excited about Trey Lance. I've been on this trip since last July, man. Before everybody started talking about him, before everybody started singing his song, man, this guy is so fluid in the pocket. I'm not only excited about his passing ability. I'm not even going to talk about his running ability, but he's so fluid in the pocket. He just fits. When you watch film on him, and you guys got to go down there and see it in person, when you watch film on this guy, man, he's so fluid in the pocket with his motion, with his post-style offense, with the RPOs, with the extended plays. The guy is just a beautiful, poetry in motion, man. And the idea that he's going to be our quarterback for a long time behind Shanahan. And you have to remember something. All the defensive players are excited about him because he's making these wow plays. The receivers, whether it be Ayuk or whether it be Debo, where in the past it's had to be schemed open. Shanahan is an incredible offensive play caller. He's had to scheme them open with little dink plays here, little RPOs here, little jet sweeps here. But when we have a quarterback like this guy, and he throws you open with his athletic ability, his arm. I said it last year. It's Mahomes Part 2. I'm so excited about it. This football is king in the Bay Area. Football is the number one sport. And just be ready for the ride. This is the real train. This is the real train that's going to take over the Bay Area. Be excited, everybody. Enjoy it. Go Niners. And congratulations again on the 10 years, you guys.
Thank you, Eric. Very good phone call there.
And people like Eric listen all the time, calls in sporadically.
Yep.
I remember him calling Stephen Langford on the morning show, the pregame show, and Eric was first at the trough on Trey Lance.
He was on Trey Lance. Even at 5:20 in the morning, just before the draft was about to happen, and all the Mac Jones hype was going on with Adam Schefter, Eric was on Trey Lance. I can affirm those words.
July. He was on him in July. I didn't get him until November. It took me because everybody was like Zach Wilson, so we all drank the Zach Wilson Kool-Aid. And after watching him against Coastal Carolina, I was like, I don't want him. I don't want Zach Wilson. He played against NFL talent, NFL speed, and he got rattled in that game. Rattled. And I was like, I'm done with him.
I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it now, all right? The Jets are going to look at a Sam Bowie situation, staring them straight in the face.
Wow.
That's what they're looking at. They passed on somebody. Was there ever even a sniff for the Jets and Trey Lance?
I remember we had Boomer Esiason on.
Uh-huh.
And we said, so they're not looking at Justin Fields
at all.
Or Mac Jones. And he said, no. It's Zach Wilson. We want Zach Wilson. Really? You want Zach Wilson? over Trey or just like, here's the thing, 650, Bonte and Butch. Do you expect Trey to play as well as Justin Herbert did last year? If he gets the keys to the Porsche, which I think Adam Schefter is going to have a tweet the week before the season opener. Kyle Shanahan has just announced that Trey Lance is the starting quarterback for the 49ers. I think that tweet will be coming to us a month from now.
Maybe,
and when it
probably,
does,
but maybe not.
And when it does,
that guy.
And when it does, I think Trey can have just as big of an impact as Justin Herbert. He can make all the throws just like Justin Herbert.
So on Saturday, you and I were doing our waltz all along the sidelines, and here comes John Lynch, just parting the sea of media and players like he's Moses. I mean, it was unbelievable to see. He grabs the mic, and I don't know, the microphone wasn't even working, so he just yelled to everyone. He was like, all right, we really appreciate you, faithful, and everybody's got their phones out. And there I look over, and I pivot, and I'm like, look at Shanahan. Shanahan is feeling himself right now.
How much swag did he have walking on the field with the white shorts?
Massive swag.
So much swagger. So much swag. Let me forget it here.
I just can't wait until he talks again, because the word salad he's going to go with once all the riders that have been saying, hey, there's a chance Garoppolo can start or won't start week 1.
Maybe, probably, but maybe not.
There's going to be a lot of that.
He speaks today, right? He's talking today. When
according to Curly. Curly said he was speaking today. I don't know how much stock to take into that one.
How many quarterbacks do you think he says he has today? 4?
Yeah. Oh, we have 4 quarterbacks. We love our quarterback room. We love where Trey's at, but Jimmy's still our starter right now, and he'll say right now.
And let's look at Josh Rosen. I laughed at multiple times when people would call up and they'd say, "Oh, Josh Rosen could be our guy." Bonte, Rosen looked okay. Sudfeld looked okay, if I'm being honest with you.
Rosen looked better than Jimmy on Saturday. And Rosen's only 24 years old. Really hasn't gotten a shot to play quarterback in the league.
He's a big boy.
He's a big guy.
He moves pretty well for his size,
bad.
too.
He's
Throws
not
a good
bad.
ball.
By the way, just random. Hashtag random, as Guru would say.
Yeah.
Of course, Guru's back from Hawaii today.
I can't wait to
for
hear
the midday
Guru.
show.
Can't
Steiny,
wait.
look, it's Steiny. He's back from his family vacation.
Ooh, lot of
He's been down
draft
to San
talk.
Diego. Guru's back from Hawaii.
Oh, my God.
You know, he's ready to rat-a-tat-tat some Trey Lance
For
takes.
sure.
And you got Cousin Nick.
Oh.
You got Cousin Nick.
The bounty hunter.
The bounty hunter on the midday show. That's going to be a lot of fun from 10 to 2. You don't want to miss that as they talk free agency, Chris Bryant, and, of course, Trey Area, a.k.a. Trey Lance.
I'm Joe Montana.
Should we do a little test drive and let people know that we created an open for Nick Friedel?
Oh, my God.
He's going to fire it.
No. We wait.
Okay. All right. We'll play it when he comes on Sunday.
We wait. Don't unleash it yet.
I'm starting to tingle.
Hashtag random, as Guru would say, Fox will deploy the announcing team of Gus Johnson and Aqib Talib for 6 to 7 games this year. Gus Johnson and Aqib Talib. I want to listen to every one of those games.
Aqib Talib might be one of my favorite up-and-coming media people.
I just love
It's not
him.
even close.
I love him.
Texas.
Gus Johnson and Aqib Talib.
So they're okay. What? Explain to me exactly. They're going to be 6 to 7 games together.
Select games for Fox.
Are those Thursday night games? Because I'm assuming Buck and Aikman are still going to do Thursday night.
No, it'll be random Sunday games.
Okay.
Random Sunday games. Select games this season.
I wonder if they'll do that 10 o'clock, because there's a lot of 9 or 10 o'clock games, and you would think that they would be doing that, because Buck and Aikman usually do that 1 o'clock marquee Sunday afternoon game.
They may get what if they get the Lions game? Lions, Niners, Gus Johnson, Aqib Talib. Aqib Talib calls games like he's in the hood with his boys.
I love him.
He's unbelievable.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
Oh man, week one, 888-957-9570. What are you most excited about this Monday morning? Is it Chris Bryant wearing that orange and black, wearing number 23?
Give me the home run from Chris Bryant. Give
number
me
23.
What a moment. When he hit that dugout exploded.
And the team took off against the Astros.
Deep left field. It is a home run. Chris Bryant, in his first game as a Giant, has hit a home run for the Giants' first run of the day. Bryant, the Giant, is what the sign said. 2-1 Houston.
Ooh, Chris Bryant. Then you got Trey Lance down in Santa Clara. And you got the Warriors. After drafting Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody, the tampering period starts today at 3 p.m. Will Nicholas Batum be a Warrior? Will it be Andre Iguodala? What are you most excited about right now, Roasters, 888-957-9570. Let's go to Dallas real quick. Dallas,
so international.
Cowboy country. Taylor, you're on the roast here with Butcher and Bonte. What are you most excited about right now?
Man, I'm excited about the Giants every day, so that ain't nothing. I got a game every day. Boy, Trey area. Boy, can't wait to see this man on the field. Like my man's been saying on the positive, saying that he's throwing missiles. I ain't really hear about Jimmy ever throwing no missiles. I need somebody like that out there, man. I'm trying to figure out what game to show up at, man.
Dude, hey, you show up to preseason game number 1. August 14th, when the Niners take on the Kansas City Chiefs. When you get a first look at Trey Lance wearing that number 5. Not only is number 5 a sick number 4
he looks
quarterback.
So good.
He's got the gold chain. He's got the dude. He just looks like a Ferrari, man. He does.
I was out on like black for the 49ers, but the black pants that they wear for practice look pretty sharp.
They're not bad. And I love the black jerseys that the quarterbacks wear.
I mean, of course.
They're pretty sick. They're pretty sick. Hey, we talked about the 10-year anniversary of 95.7 game. It's a lot to do with the listeners and our audience here at 95.7 The Game. They keep us going. They keep us on our toes. We have great co-workers, great management. It's been a blast. You've been here at 95.7 The Game how long, Shasky?
Since March of 2018.
You've had a blast. I've been here since November.
Literally a dream come true. People say that, and I mean it. I got to play catch with Jerry Rice in his backyard. We get to talk to Will Clark and Rick Barry, and I get to hang out with my best friend every single day and wake up the city I love, talking about the teams I love. It doesn't get any better than this.
It doesn't. I've been here since November of 2016. And it's been an absolute blast. I couldn't imagine myself anywhere else talking sports than here at 95.7 The Game. And one of the callers who chimes in from time to time, and he's passionate about the teams just like we are, it's Jonathan in San Francisco.
Let's go.
And I know Jonathan is he's excited about something. It doesn't take much. But this morning here on 95.7 The Game, what has you more excited, Jonathan? Is it the Warriors? Is it Trey Lance? Is it Chris Bryant with the Giants?
Hey man, when I saw you guys on the IG, I was like, these guys are into something. And then when I heard you guys talking about Trey Lance, that you guys put my attention back to where it's supposed to be, because I got a little bit distracted seeing that Italiana gymnast stretching. So my focus is back. Thank you 957 The Game for being there with me for 10 years, keeping me company while I deliver the mail in the sunset. If what you guys saw is real, I mean, come on, man. With the running game of Kyle Shanahan, the defense, the O-line, I mean, come on, bro.
Jonathan,
Yeah.
Has Shasky and I ever lied to you? We keep it real, right? As the kids say, we keep it 100.
Yeah.
What we saw Saturday blew us away.
Hey, when I heard you guys say that, you guys gave me goosebumps, because I know what's coming. If we got that guy that could kind of run, he's got a rocket arm with this kind of offense, and we got a defense. Let's go!
I love it. And I didn't know he was a postman. Now that I know he's a postman, we need to cue up the music from the movie with Kevin Costner, the postman. I don't even know if there is a theme, but we got to find it, and we got to play it every time we're going to bring Jonathan in.
Dude.
Here's something I want to...
You will never know him.
Bonte, let's go back to that Minnesota game. We do the post game. Minnesota, You're ready to choke me out.
I am.
Okay, biggest Niner playoff win in forever. All right. And I'm over here like just losing my mind about Jimmy Garoppolo. And people think like that I was generating. No, I'm telling you my actual legitimate concerns. And again, I appreciate Jimmy. Nobody was higher on Jimmy than me like 4 or 5 years ago. As things have gone, it's like, God, he just leaves a lot to be desired, and I get frustrated with him. I also have enough wherewithal to appreciate what he's done for the organization. But there's been times where I've been his biggest doubter, and you have defended him, and you're ready to swing on me because we just categorically disagree organically on Jimmy G. Right? When we went down there, there's no script, no narrative. We went down there to just see what was up. I literally, hey, what's up? I'm gonna pop in, see what's up, and go from here. I had no idea my jaw would be dropped.
There was a throw he made to Brandon Ayuk where he catches it in stride and sprints the distance to the end zone. I turned around at you and I said, let's go home. I've seen enough. And you thought I was dead serious.
I know.
And 80% of me was dead serious. I was ready to walk off that football field right then and there, post a video, and go home and tell everybody in the world Trey Lance is going to be the starter. Sooner rather than later. And you better buckle up for it. This guy is legit. And that Minnesota game, I saw a lot of quarterbacks struggle in their first postseason game. And I wanted to give Jimmy the benefit of the doubt because that was a solid defense in Minnesota. They had a very good defense. And I get it. Shanahan said we need to run the ball against his defense, and they ran it 12 straight times. And there was some flaws. I took it as, look, this guy's nervous. It's his first playoff game. Mm-hmm. Give him a break here. And through 3 quarters of the Super Bowl, he may have been the Super Bowl MVP. He may have been. He was throwing some dimes. They were rolling. But what we saw on Saturday, here we are in 2021. It's not 2019 anymore. Garoppolo doesn't look the same. Trey Lance looks polished. He looked like the most polished quarterback on the field. Jimmy didn't. Jimmy threw some passes in that practice, and I'm like, I don't care if you're experimenting. Who practices throwing interceptions? Why would you want to create those type of habits? Like, the defense was, when he got under center, and they went when he went shotgun and they went 5 wide, the defense was bouncing around like, oh, we're trying to get our hands on the football. Yeah. It's coming. We're about to rattle him. Let's go. Let's go. And then here we are. Our phone calls, 888-957-9570. I see nothing but Trey Lance has me excited. Trey Lance has me excited. We're on the cusp of NBA free agency. Chris Bryant just hit a home run in his debut for the Giants, and yet all anybody wants to do is talk Trey Lance.
Because I told you the quarterback position is just different.
It's different.
For the Niners, it's just different.
And let's go to Rob and San Bruno.
Oh, here we go.
Who was at a practice. By the way,
Rob was at practice?
Rob was at practice last week. No, not Saturday.
Okay.
I think it was at practice Thursday or something.
Okay.
If you talk about the 10-year anniversary,
yeah.
Rob and San Bruno make sure to stop by the Hilton to check us out.
I love Rob.
And we chop it up with them. And he talks football. He knows his football. He knows it inside and out. He's been out on Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, after what he saw from Trey Lance, I think he knows Trey Lance is coming sooner rather than later. Rob, you're on the roll. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, fellas? Look, Bonte, I had to hit you because I wanted to let you see it first, so I didn't say nothing. I said, man, he may be the man. Man, that guy's something special. He looked like a Steve McNair mixed with like a Brett Favre with the arm. I'm telling you, he is the guy. I'm headed up there right now to see what they look like in pads. So I'm going to see what he look like in pads. But to me, that should make him better because his natural ability is just going to come out and play. So I feel like, man, Lance is the future, man. Jimmy Garoppolo, he's been cool in camp. Don't get me wrong, but, I mean, Lance just brings something else to the table, man. It's special. The way that ball come out, the way he moved, the offense looks different with him, and all the big pass plays that came with him in offense. So I feel like that's what makes him better is he can throw the deep ball.
Yep.
Make bigger plays. Ayuk and deep. I ain't seen Debo catch as many deep balls in I don't know how long. He's doing a lot of this in practice. So I think, man, Jimmy fans, look, man. To me, if Jimmy starts, you gotta have big balls like Kyle to tell me you gonna keep that dude on the bench with that much time.
See, Rob.
There you go, Rob.
I'm with you. Hey, August 14th, Rob. Keep it real. Preseason games. I can't think of a more fired up moment in preseason 49er history. I mean, the Jared Hayne returns, yawn.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Rob. You're gonna be there.
Yeah, I'm gonna be up there for sure. That looks like a regular season game to me.
I love Rob.
Hey, Rob.
I love you, bro.
Hey, Rob, thanks for sticking with us, man. You've been one of our most loyal listeners, man. Die hard. You love your Niners. You get angry over your Niners, and I feel you. This is second practice he's been down to. He can't stay away. He can't stay away from Trey Lance. I'm telling you, they're sold out. Let's go to Kyle in Santa Rosa. Kyle, you're on the roast with Butcher and Bonte. What are you most excited about? Is it the Warriors in free agency? Is it Chris Bryant, Kyle, or is it Trey Lance?
You know, Bonte, Butcher Boy, it is so good to talk to you guys. And I'm not going to lie, it would have been Chris Bryant in 99% of those situations. But as soon as I saw Butcher Boy's Instagram over the weekend, things pivoted to the 49ers, and I am beyond stoked for the Trey Lance. But it's so weird because I'm exactly like Shasky. I'm totally conflicted in that I want Jimmy Garoppolo to succeed. I want him to go and lead the 49ers to a Super Bowl and make this decision tough for him. And yet, I just can't. I'm fully on board. All it took was Shasky and Bonte walking outside Levi Stadium, and I am hooked.
Is this Kyle Serlo?
Oh, Butcher Boy, you know I could. Yeah, it's me, brother.
Oh my God, I love this guy. We gotta go down golf soon. I'm telling you right now. Look it, man. I mean this. I've seen a lot of bad quarterback play in my life. I've seen some really good quarterback play. You just know when you see it. It reminded me of Tim Lincecum. Like, oh my God, this dude is a phenom. It's so obvious.
Yeah, no, totally. And that's it. It's like once you drop that Lipscomb reference, like, oh, he's the kind of guy where you just look at him and you're like, that. I don't need to know anything else. I don't even really need to know anything about the sport. All I need to know is that guy is special. That's how you felt with Lincecum.
Exactly.
And that's what you guys are saying. Like, that you get a little bit of the feeling with Trey Lance.
Dude.
Like, I'm sold, man. I as much as I love Jimmy, I'm ready to watch Trey Lance play. And, guys, I hate to just throw a total wrench into one of the most beautiful morning broadcasts I've ever seen, but I have to ask Shasky a question real quick. What else am I excited about? Shasky, I had an 8 a.m. tee time on Sunday morning. I showed up on 4 hours sleep because I could not stop watching Olympic golf on Saturday night. Rory Sabatini's 61, one of the greatest rounds of golf we've seen in the last 10 years. I hate to say it, but I think it just might be.
I tell you right now, that Xander Gold, because of his father being a decathlete, getting hurt, it was an incredible, incredible night of golf. A 7-way playoff for bronze, Bonte.
Wow, that's insane.
It is.
That's insane. And Kyle, I mean, he talked about the it factor with Trey Lance. That was the thing at Saturday. Whenever he dropped in the huddle, or we walked into the huddle, I couldn't take my eyes off of him. I just couldn't take my eyes off of Trey Lance. It was that it factor that an it factor, right? It's not just one thing. It's just something special. It's the swagger. It's the confidence. It's the presence. It's the command. It's the arm. It's the legs. It's the arm strength. It's just everything about Trey. Where I was just like, I can't take my eyes off of this guy, and I can't wait to go back down to practice.
Well, and here's the thing. Like, if it was kind of close and, he looked okay or whatever, do you think the two of us would be so over the top? Like, because think about this. Like, and
we sound like fanboys. I get it, 408. We do sound like fanboys.
Okay.
But I'm not lying to you.
I'm not willing to risk everything we've built up in equity and people listening to us for me to just throw like, oh my God, Sudfeld looks like the next Brett Favre. No. Like, I wouldn't do that. Like, I feel so confident in this guy being an absolute superstar. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, there are certain things in life, once you see them, it's undeniable. Bonte, this is an undeniable talent who is going to hit the ground running. I can't wait for the Bay Area to experience it.
And I can't wait for Goo to get excited about Trey Lance. We have Guru right now as we do a little crosstalk here on the morning roast.
It's the showdown right now.
It's the showdown.
Give me the music.
I love it. It's the showdown instead of the crosstalk. Oh, man. Woo! Daryl, the Guru Johnson, is back from Waikiki. He's back from Hawaii. And I know he has takes on the Golden State Warriors and their draft picks, NBA free agency. Chris Bryant is now a Giant. Giants continue to roll. And then Trey Lance lighting up practice Saturday. Go! It's been so long. I miss you, buddy.
I miss you too. Just call me Aquaman. I've been in so much water. But listen, damn you two. Because I was coming into this Niners season like, Trey's going to sit on the bench. You know I like shiny objects. It's Jimmy's job. And you two go Kobe, Shaq, Stockton, Malone Saturday to where I'm asking you two in the Bay, is there any chance, percentage, that he could be Trey Lance under center week 1 at Detroit? Because those are the vibes you guys gave me, and I'm like, this is crazy.
Tell him.
This job is his.
Tell me.
This job is his.
To me.
And if Shanahan is the arrogant guy that I think he is starting Trey Lance like they did RG3 in Washington when they went down to the Superdome and lit up the Saints. Trey Lance looks the part. He plays the part. And the receivers act differently. It's like, come on, Guru. I'm telling you, man. If
there were no pads, though, dude, guys, right?
Don't matter.
There were no pads, though.
It's going to look scary, which is more an indictment on Jimmy Garoppolo. There was no pads, yet Jimmy took 5 sacks. He held on to the football. He underthrew deep routes. He threw wobblers, and Trey got in there, Guru.
These are facts.
Dude, these are facts. These are nothing but facts, Goo. Butch, as soon as he came on the radio Saturday, Trey football cards started going up.
I heard him.
Butcher boy from the 510 moved the needle. I'm telling you, Guru, we walked out that practice field, and you know I don't get excited for anything, Guru. My jaw was dropped. He made a throw to Brandon Ayuk, and I told Shasky, I've seen enough. Let's go home.
Wow. Butch, wow, tell me it ain't true. So he is the rat on the table for the Niners training camp.
Hey, Goo.
I mean, how can anything be bigger than this story, Butch?
Goo. You remember the first time you saw Bo Jackson? Remember the first time you saw Barry Bonds, Tim Lincecum, LeBron James? There are certain guys that you see. Patrick Mahomes. The first time I watched Patrick Mahomes, I was like, this just looks different.
Remember Adrian Peterson? When I saw him throw that ball, I said, oh, my God, Alex, you got a problem.
And I'm telling you, there's just a Goo. I'm not even trying to exaggerate. It just is what it is. Like, it was so. Me and B were on the side. We're watching their 11-on-11s, and we're standing there. We're next to the defense.
I loved your hat, B. You guys had the fits. I did like your attire, but go ahead.
Hey, I look over to the right, and I'm seeing all the defense is like, oh, my God, watching this kid throw. He throws an incomplete pass. The whole sideline, us included, ran onto the field to watch this thing. People are losing their minds, and I'm talking about NFL people. Goo, what are you talking about on your show? Because I'm about to hop in the car.
We got Cam Inman live from Niners training camp, Butch. We got Nick Friedel in with us, so we'll talk Warriors free agency. The Warriors are going to Nordstrom's, right, guys? Because I've been there. You guys had the silver spoon, and they ain't got much money, but Myers, they got to make it happen. You ever been somewhere where you want to buy something, but you can't afford it? I know. So we'll go ahead, B.
We call it balling on a budget, baby. Ain't nothing wrong with Nordstrom's.
There you go.
Ain't nothing wrong with the
you guys
basement.
are killing it, but I'm going to be disappointed if Trey don't start because of you two. Stockton Malone, Kobe Shaq Saturday. That was phenomenal. We'll see if Kyle will pull the trigger. Go ahead.
How are you feeling about the Warriors draft?
I like it. 6'6", 6'8". They tried to do everything they could be in Shasky. I like the length. These dudes are athletic. Now, it's going to be romper room, but the Warriors, trained staff in regard to getting these guys up to speed will be tested like no other season under Steve Kerr. So that's what it's going to be about if this is the team that's going to battle, which I think it is.
Promise me every day we do this showdown. We cross it over because I want to hear every day what you guys are doing, because I'm going to be sitting in the car listening to 95.7 The Game.
Giants winning the NL West. I won't ruin our show, but I feel it. Something happening, baby.
Something's in the air, Guru.
I love you, buddy.
Something's in the air.
I miss you
Guru,
so
we
much.
love you, man. Hey, Guru, real quick. I know we got a break here. I don't want to make your show late. 10-year anniversary here at 95.7 The Game.
Man.
And when people think of 95.7 The Game, they think of Daryl the Guru Johnson. You are one of the pioneers for this radio station.
It's a beautiful thing, man, and for so long we just had one station in the game. The inception of it came, and now you got the YouTube, Bontes, the Shaskys, the Townsends, the Damons. It's just a beautiful thing, and you guys are a major part of it, and I can't wait to get the next 10.
And thank you to Dibley and to Steinmetz and to you, Guru. You guys made me on air. You guys helped me, promoted us. You guys kept this station afloat. I can't wait to listen to you guys. I love you, boys. I mean it.
I miss you, boys.
Miss you too, Goo. Have a great show, Steiny Guru and Nick Friedel and cousin Nick Shasky. A lot of fun. We'll be back tomorrow. Giants Diamondbacks. Trey Area. Langford Curly. Great job as always. We out. We'll see you Tuesday morning.
There were no pads, though.
It's going to look
Switching your car insurance to Geico is both easy and